We're live with Reading Books with Friends, the podcast, episode 18, Last Rock by Phil Tucker. Do you guys know? How's it going? Who's here? Who am I here with?
Hi, I'm Red.
And I'm Sage.
You can sound a little more enthused.
Sorry, I'm coming off the work mode. So
Do you want us to take a little bit of a little time off before?
No, you're good. You're good.
You sure you don't want a little break?
I'm okay. I'm just working on figuring out a couple things, but I'm all right. Yeah.
Sure.
Right. I'm also trying to sign into my Kindle so I have the book open.
Can we talk about?
Anyway.
We don't have to do it now, and I'm putting you on the spot, so we definitely don't have to. But are you okay with us talking about your other business so that obviously all the people in chat can go immediately and get memberships?
No.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Next time I'll wear a hat though.
Yeah, but we'll leave that in our back pocket for the future. Yeah.
Okay. So not now, maybe later.
Maybe later for sure. Yeah.
Why is the camera all?
So
Tanurb couldn't be here today, unfortunately.
Yes, Tanurb.
But Tanurb is busy putting his fingers in people's hearts. But maybe
That's
next
true.
time,
Yes.
he'll be here. Which I'm actually very curious if he finished the book.
Dr. Buttercar.
It might be that he didn't actually finish the book, but I think he did. I bet he did.
No, I think Tanurb seems to be a fast reader, right?
He's a pretty fast reader. Yeah. So
okay.
what book are we talking about today, guys?
Today
Last
we are
Rock.
talking about Last Rock by Phil Tucker, the third book in the Immortal Great Souls series,
Yes.
which has been a lot of fun.
So
And the fourth book just came out today.
Yeah.
I think.
wait, what? Oh shit. Okay. Well,
Not the audiobook though, I don't think, right? Just the
No, not.
whatever. I'll read it. I don't
well,
care. I'll read it. I'll fucking read that thing. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem at all reading that thing after this book and after how this book ended.
Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah.
for anyone who's here who hasn't read the first book, Bastion, or the second book, the Raskor Plains, go listen to our previous podcast available on YouTube. And I have the YouTube link.
No. Read the books first.
Oh yeah, sorry.
then-
Read the books first.
The podcast. Yeah.
Then listen to the
There's a
podcast.
Big spoiler. Yeah, big spoiler alert.
big-
We're going to be talking about this series and the books that we've read up until book 3.
Yeah.
Both Red and I have read book 4 already.
Which is
But,
so annoying because they read the book before it came out because they went to this author's Patreon and fucking cheating.
Yes. But it is so good.
Is it?
So
Is it?
good.
I'll read it.
Oh
I'll buy
my
it today and I'll read it fast. It came out. What's it called?
Yeah. It's called The Lost Cube.
The Lost Cube. They talk about that a little bit. Did they talk about something
Yes.
about that at the end of the third book?
Yes.
Yeah,
they do.
okay.
They do.
So we'll get to that. So
Yeah.
all right. So spoiler alert, everyone go read the first 2 books, Bastion, Raskor Plains. We're going to talk all about the third book, Last Rock today. So if you don't want spoilers, just go away and listen to the video later. This book is we all love these books. We usually do this thing where we're like thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. It's just thumbs up. Like we don't even have to
Yeah.
do that.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So good.
Let me look it up now.
And
It's called The Lost
I
Cube.
think that Last Rock is in my opinion the best book in the series up to this point. I like it more than
Including
book
the
1 and
fourth?
book 2. Well, no, but
I like
I
it
like-
better than the fourth.
I like the fourth better. But
Wait, it's called The Lost Cube? Oh, I'm on Audible. That's why. Whatever. I'll do it after. I'll buy it after. So I guess what we should do is do the thing where we talk about the plot, and that's most of the episode, and then we say the things we like. But to get us set up, because honestly, I kind of read the second book and the third book like right after another, so it is actually a little hard for me to remember. Like, so the end of book 2, Raskor Plains, is when Scorio kills the douchebag
Praximar.
He kills Praximar, who is the Chancellor of the Academy.
Right. And then he basically, they're like, well, what's going to happen? Am I in trouble? They have this meeting with like all the big deal people, including the, what's his name?
Tyrant.
the Iron Tyrant, who's in the third book a
Yep.
lot, and they're basically like, Scorio kind of talks his way out of it by being like, yeah, what do you want me to do? You want me to be better, and I'm the best, and I'm trying to be better. So, and they're like, yeah, you did great, buddy. You're great. Okay, just be good. And then they all try and recruit him, and he's like, no, fuck you guys. I'm gonna do my own thing, and I'm gonna go. His goal is to go to Last Rock.
Yes, Last Rock, which is the. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can say he wants to go there because of what he learned about his previous life.
That's right. So he learned in a previous life that he had perhaps left journals somewhere in the fortress of Last Rock.
Thanks, Seal. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Have a good group.
Butter. Okay. Which was formerly run formerly
pause for 1 sec, just so I can tell you.
Yeah.
If I mute for a second, it's because I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm saying hi to someone in chat. So that's why I'm doing it on purpose.
I gotcha.
But continue.
Okay. Yeah. So Last Rock, which was formerly run by, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name.
Jova Spike.
Yeah.
Yes, Jova Spike, right? And in a previous life, Jova Spike, ran it, and she was a charnel duchess, and she ran it before she was killed by the Blood Ox, who is a true fiend, right? The fiend equivalent of an imperator, and his forces overran Last Rock. And so Scorio is going to Last Rock to hopefully discover more, and he refuses to travel with Jova Spike, even though it would be useful for him to do so because he hates her, because she basically stood by and let his friends get killed, and sort of believed this guy in whatever that group is, Manticore, without sort of giving him the benefit of the doubt. And so he and oh my God.
Naomi.
Man,
you.
buddy, you had a long day.
Naomi, I know, I had a long day. He and Naomi, they go off, and they begin their journey to Last Rock.
Yeah, and I guess the only other thing I'll say is in Jova's defense, Jova kind of got fucked over. I mean, like, yes, she didn't leave Manticore, but also the guy, I don't remember his name, was Davalos or one of those people. Damien, like, at the end, basically they were kind of like, imprisoning her, I guess, and like not really allowing her to leave and do her own thing. So like,
they actually eventually did imprison her at the end. Yeah. And so he broke her out of imprisonment, but he doesn't forgive her for basically standing by as his friends were killed.
Right,
so.
right. Okay. And
even
then,
though they lied to her about it, so it's not like she actually saw it and was okay.
But he's still like, you could have done more.
Angry. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so then third book starts out, and Scorio and Naomi are with, I don't remember her name.
Lady Druana.
Who is the lady that they released from prison. Praximar had captured her and imprisoned her, and she is. I'm asking questions on purpose because I don't want to misspeak as we're going through this. So, what level is everyone at in this?
So she is a. Yeah. Druana's a pyre lady, and she's a powerful pyre lady, right?
Okay.
She is known for being a very combat-oriented pyre lady, as opposed to Praximar, who was more of an administrator, right?
Right. And then
so she's
And then Naomi and Scorio are
Flame Vaults at that point, I think.
Yes, they are Flame Vaults.
That's what I'm trying. That's why I'm like, okay, let's make sure we say this right. Okay. All right. So 2 Flame Vaults are with Druana, the pyre lady, and they are trying to get to Last Rock, and then they get distracted because Scorio thinks he's hearing our buddy what is his damn name? I want to do the impression, and I can't think of his name. The Toad.
Nox, the Imperial Ghost Toad.
Great Imperial Ghost Toad, great friend of Scorio. And so they're like, well, we think he's in trouble. And also, Naomi hasn't learned the great marinating technique. And she's struggling with her ascension. Wait, isn't Scorio a level higher than her? Or no, he just knows...
He could be a Dreadblaze at that point, or
I
maybe
think he's a
she's
Oh my
Dreadblaze, and I
God.
think she's a
Okay,
Flame
all
Volt.
right.
Because I think Naomi's struggling because she doesn't know the marinating technique, and Scorio's trying to teach her, but it's not working out so well. And what's after Dreadblaze is
Fire Lord.
Fire Lord, and
No. Yeah, so Scorio is still a Flame Vault at the beginning of this book.
Okay, he becomes
right?
a Dreadblaze.
But the technique, the dreadful,
quickly.
the delightful marinating technique is known as a Pyre Lord technique. And so he is able to do this Pyre Lord technique, which basically enables him to continue bringing in mana from the atmosphere while simultaneously having his heart ignited. Whereas
Right.
in everyone below Pyre Lord, normally they have to gather mana into their hearts and then ignite their heart, and then they just burn down whatever's in there until it gets to empty.
So
right?
it's super
and
OP.
then and then they can once again, yes.
Yeah.
And so it's a very advanced technique. And even at the beginning of this book, even Joanna even says it's completely unfair that Scorio is able to do this, that something that no other Flame Vault or even Dreadblaze can do. Right.
Right, okay.
And of course, Naomi is very frustrated because she doesn't like being behind Scorio in anything.
Right.
And so she wants to know this technique. And he said, oh, I think the only way to do that is to learn it from Nox, who created the Imperial Gel,
Right.
which is, it's a fiend technique to do this. And then they sense Scorio thinks that he senses Nox's presence somewhere in the Iron Weld. The Iron Weld is, so the first level of hell is the Rasker Plains, and the second level of hell is the Iron Weld. And that's where they sort of are venturing with Joanna, and that's where he senses Nox.
Right. So then they're kind of like, hey, we got to go find Nox. And Durana's kind of like, all right, good luck. And then they separate.
Yeah.
And then they come across some evil demon thing that flies and breathes fire. I don't remember what it is. Do you remember what it is?
Ferris Drake
That
is called
thing.
Ferris Drake.
And it like almost kills Naomi and basically saps her of all her power, and she can't use her power. And then Scorio, I don't think he kills it. He just like fights it, and then it leaves. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Well,
what happened?
okay.
Tell me.
Okay, so they escape it.
Yeah,
right?
whatever.
They
Okay.
escape it.
But Naomi
And then they
doesn't.
go
She
find
can't use her
Nox.
powers.
She is injured by the fiend. Yes. The reason why is because the Ferris Drake is actually killed very shortly after this, but by something else. We'll get to it. Continue.
The fire giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay. All right. But anyways, whatever. So then Scorio's like taking Naomi away, and then nothing really happens, right? They just eventually go to the Iron Wheel.
Well, but they get chased by the Drake again.
Cool. But then they escape and survive,
Yes.
and yeah, right?
So they make their way basically underneath the Iron Tyrant's domain. What's it called?
The Iron Wheel.
No, that's
No, the
one.
Iron Wield is the name of the overall.
Oh, is it
that
Wield,
level
like
of hell.
W-I-E-L-D?
I don't know how to pronounce it
Because
How-
I hear
how's
it,
spelled? How's it
And I don't know if it's wheel or
Yeah.
wield.
It's Wield
Maybe it's-
with a D, but it's spelled W-E-A-L-D.
W-E-A-L. Okay, so that's like a made-up word. All right. Okay, so they're going there, and then and there's also these worms. I don't know if these worms are important or not, but there's these worms that like burrow, and they're big and scary.
Yeah, basically, like as you're going through the book, more and more highlights that hell has its own ecosystems, just like any other place in any other world. And there are like predators and prey and other things that are happening. It basically, what I think is really cool in this book is he highlights a little bit how, there's other dynamics in hell besides the Great Souls, right? Everything in the
Yeah.
Rasker Plains is really driven by the Great Souls.
Yeah.
But in the Iron World, you really get to see that there are other complete, groups of fiend. Everything is called the fiend, but they're not really, right? There's these giant worms that are burrowing through the earth. Basically, they have nothing. They leave Great Souls alone. Great Souls leave them alone.
They're like the worms from
And-
Beetlejuice. Or Dune, I guess.
I was gonna say Dune is probably
that's probably a better
closer
example.
comparison.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a mystery what they're there for and what they do, other than that they're a key part of the Iron Wield's ecosystem. And then that's it.
But like everyone's scared of the worms, right? They're like the strongest
Yeah,
fiends in
well,
that
they're
area.
massive. They're massive. They're huge fiends. Yeah. So if you try and kill one, it's probably going to kill you. But yeah.
All right, so they go to the Iron Wheel, they escape the enemies, and then is that where we see the fire giant? Or is that
Yeah,
later?
so they get to the tunnels underneath of Bravern's house.
The
but
Fury. Yeah, it's called
The Fury Spires. Yeah.
I
The
thought
Fury
that
Spires
was
is
the name of the White Queen's domain up in the Rascor Plains.
no, she
With the
is
Fury
that was
Spires?
the Fiery Shoals. That was the Fiery
Yeah.
The
Shoals.
Fiery Shoals. Yeah, this is the Fury Spires, which is ruled by the Iron Tyrant in
Right.
the Iron World.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyways, on their way, they see a fire giant that kills the Drake thing, and they're like, "Oh, there's a fire giant." And then
Seemingly randomly, this
Right.
fire giant kills this Iron Drake. It just pops out of this magma pool that happens to be nearby as this Drake is closing in on him and just grabs it and drags it under and kills it. Right? This thing that is about to kill Scorio and Naomi. And you don't know why.
wait a minute,
You're
I just
like,
realized
oh,
something that I
random.
don't think I realized because now I've read the rest of the book.
Yes.
So was
Yes.
it incidental or did he get
No.
saved by?
He was yes.
Oh,
that's correct. He was
I didn't
saved.
realize that. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was just like a coincidence. Okay. This is why we do the book
No.
club, because I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then they get to the Iron Wheel, and, you know, they're like, Naomi's like dying. They look like shit. And everyone's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Scorio." And they're like, "Oh, Scorio? Oh my God. Your legend has traveled so far. We know all about you. You're Scorio." And then,
Well, I do think that part is kind of cool, right?
It
Because
is,
now
it
he's
is, it
gaining
is.
notoriety because he, as a Flame Bolt, he slaughtered most of this minor house called Manticore.
Yep.
Went to the academy and killed the Chancellor, who was a Pyre Lord, two
Yeah.
levels above him. And so, you know, his legend is now spreading amongst the Great Souls, right? And in Great Souls, they're all legends, right? Every single Great Soul is a legend in and of himself. And so it's like, you know, when your legend is spreading amongst them, you are becoming a legend of legends, right? I think that's
Okay.
that's a cool thing.
So now in this book is when they talk about the Winds of Fate, right? Because I think I
Yes.
said it in the last
When
book
they
they talked
start-
about it, but it's this book where they're
Yes,
like,
they really start talking about it.
right. So they imply that, like, you know, or here's my interpretation. My interpretation is like they're implying that, like, yeah, Scorio, you may be talented and whatever, but like, and maybe it's luck, but like also maybe there's some kind of like fate involved that is guiding you to success. And I don't know like how true or not that is, but that's my interpretation, is like they're saying, like, I mean, you can disagree. If not, tell me what you think. I thought it was like they're saying, like, you know, it's not saying you're the chosen one, but it's like saying, like, oh, you know, like fate is
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
side.
Yeah. I don't think they're necessarily like downplaying his accomplishments, though, right? They're just saying like you are becoming like this awesome badass. Like luck is on your, like you have, you know,
Yeah.
the expression like you have the devil's luck or something like
Yeah.
that. That's not necessarily like, you know, it's just saying like, man, like things are, you know, if it's a 50-50 shot, you're going to find a way to tip it in your favor.
Yeah.
Right. And so that and it means a lot to them, to the Great Souls. So yeah.
I gotta pull up just while I'm doing this. I don't have to, but there's so many names in this book that are important that I will forget if I don't pull it up. But basically,
So-
just filibuster or Sage, you can say what you want to say.
So when they get to the Fury Spires, right? They're you know, people remark on their presence. They go to try and heal them. You find out that the magma giant that they saw is called a Blazeborn Titan, and there's only a few of them. At this point in time, you think there's only a few of them because all the Blazeborns, which is a type of fiend, they're a tribe of fiends that exist in the Iron World. They were all wiped out except for one tribe, and they're sort of hive mind. They're sort of hive-like structure, right? So they have.
I think of them as like
who
bugs.
is their-
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They're kinda
Like
bugs,
when
but
you
the
say
queen
tribe,
is
I
the
think more of
only-
like colony or hive. Like they're like,
Yeah. Well, Phil Tucker refers to them in the book as a tribe,
okay,
right? They're a tribe of fiend, or at least the Great Souls refer to them as a tribe of fiend.
mhm,
And so, yes, like with a hive-like or bug-like structure where there is a queen who is the intelligent one giving the commands, and all of her soldiers and everything underneath him, they're telepathically connected to her and they do her will. And so you get there, and their enemies are the Gurlocs, which is a different form are a different type of fiend. And apparently in the Iron Well, there's always been this sort of balance between the Gerlachs and the Blazeborn, vying against each other. And so, and so they get to the Fury Spires. Obviously, the Blood Baron who rules there, his name is the Iron Tyrant Bravern. He requests to see them, and they also run into Leonis and Lianshi, who are recently arrived there. And again, this is the sort of the reincarnated versions of them, so they don't really know Scorio and Naomi. And I believe, is Jova there too at this point? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay, so she's not there yet. So
because I think she
And
goes
then-
to Last Rock and then comes
Yeah.
way later.
Yep.
Yeah. Question or not question. What I was going to say is, just for context, we know about the Iron Tyrant because in the last book, when they were in the Raskor Plains and or what's the White Queen's place? Basically, the Fiery Shoals. Yeah, so like they transported all the gold to him. Like he got like pretty much all of the gold mana. So he was like the arbiter of the gold mana and determined like who in Bastion got it and how and whatever. And that's kind of the context of how we know him. And we kind of find out stuff about that later in the books, or later in this book.
Well, you find out that his importance for the war effort in general for the Great Souls is that his job at the Fury Spires is to basically ferry gold mana from the Fiery Shoals into deeper parts of Hell in order to provide a steady supply of gold mana to the warriors that are deeper in Hell. And that's what his primary purpose is doing, for him being there at the Fury Spires.
So can I ask a general question about like mana and as you level up in this world? Because I feel like there were parts in the book where they were like, oh, for those that are higher in the lower levels of Hell, this mana won't even like help them or touch them. And then you make the point about the gold mana. So I guess like, do you know at what level is it like what Crimson Queen and what was the Queen? Crimson Countess and
the White Queen.
What was she? What rank is she?
She was a charnel.
The White Queen was a Carnal Duchess. Yeah, that's right.
But then she moved so that she could go up to
Crimson Countess, which is the next one.
So at what point is gold mana like not useful for them? Do they specifically say, or is it just kind of like?
I always thought of it as like a 1-to-1 between rank and mana, right? So like Char and Coal, and then Emberling and Copper, and on and on.
Yeah.
Do they say it, or is it just like this is what we think?
I think gold mana, the equivalent of gold mana, is Pyre Lord.
I think it's a diagram, like in the.
Oh, there is a picture.
Right there, they
Yes,
had that
there
like
is.
tree, whatever, and it had both the ranks and the manas on it. I don't know that they like ever explicitly said Pyre Lord equals gold mana. But
So I guess my question that I'm asking is like, so if you're higher than Pyre Lord, the gold mana is like not really helping you that much. So does that mean that?
If you were in the appropriate level of Hell.
right, Scorio still uses iron and bronze and even
Yeah,
coal
you can
sometimes.
use lesser forms of mana. That's totally fine. But the stronger mana that you use, the more appropriate for your level, the stronger you will be as well.
My question, the reason I'm asking this is like, why I would think the powerful great souls in the lower levels of Hell, why do they care so much about the distribution of gold mana if as they're higher levels it's less and less useful?
Only the lower levels of the high levels, right? So once you get to the Emerald Reach, it doesn't matter.
Got it.
Right? But remember, the Iron World is only on the second level of Hell.
Right. So we're still so far away that like
you're still so far, you're in the lower half of Hell, basically.
So it's like apples and oranges. Like we're okay.
Yeah, I think there are 10 levels of Hell, so you're on level 2.
Got it.
So like 2 through 5, it's useful, right?
Okay.
And so he's sending it forward, particularly towards the people that are fighting against the it's very useful for those that are fighting against the Blood Ox,
Right.
who is in the Bone Plains, which is a way lower portion of hell.
But
right?
that's
You cannot
also
get gold mana there.
why no Imperator has come to like force Bravern to distribute the gold that he's hoarding, because it's not important enough to the deep levels of hell for them to like leave and go
Correct.
do something about it. So that's how he's like managed to, I don't know, mafia his little
Yeah.
gold stash and keep people from telling him what to do, is because the nearby people need it, but it's not so important to attract powerful attention.
Yeah. I kind of want to just you guys to talk about it and highlight and explain it, because like I think it's really important to understanding the hierarchy within the system. And I think
Yeah.
what they did really, really well in this book that I liked is what you're describing, the like politics and the mafia of like having relative control and leadership and ability to control different sectors, when the big strong not bad, but the big strong imperators, they're like, yeah, like we don't have time to deal with you. So people like the Iron Tyrant fucking take control and dominate certain regions because they don't have that oversight. And I just thought that was a really cool part of this book, to see the abuses of power in the system.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Over and over again, you're sort of told that the strong makes right.
Yeah.
And so, the Iron Tyrant is the strongest person on that level of hell, right? No one else is stronger than him in the Iron World, and no one wants to drop down to that level of hell, because apparently it feels like when you're a higher level and you're using lower level mana, it feels like shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think the next thing that happens is the Iron Tyrant asks Scorio to meet with him. Is that the next thing that happens?
Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And-
Yeah. So he asked to meet with him, and then as a sort of taunting. So this is the first time you get a real sense of who Bravern the Iron Tyrant is, and so he also has introduces Scorio to his captive Blazeborn queen, Xandera, who is basically enslaved by the Iron Tyrant. And Scorio notices this and sees how, yes, she is a fiend, but she is intelligent, perfectly capable of carrying conversation. And Bravern, she is a slave, basically, to Bravern. And all of her kind is because he has her enslaved, all of the Blazeborn basically serve the Iron Tyrant as slaves. And he treats them that way too.
He sure does. He also does a very weird thing that I thought was very unnecessary, and I don't know why they brought it up in this book and why this was a thing. He has like a weird, fetish sex thing
He rapes
with the.
her.
Is that what it is, or like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's bad. So I don't know if like.
But
I
also
wonder if
she's
Phil.
a snake lady, so is it, not to be too
I
gross,
don't-
a cloaca thing?
Yeah,
don't
it's a very strange interspecies.
It's implied that he uses her sexually as well, but you don't know how that functions, obviously.
So when I read that, I was like, is he putting this in the book just in case we aren't sure whether this is a bad guy or not? like is this the point where it's like, oh yeah, bad dude?
Does she say it?
He finds out
How do you find out?
from Elaine.
Yeah, so to me, it's more like, naturally people are going to gossip, and
Yeah.
Red Souls are just as gossipy as anyone else, and so
Yeah.
that is the gossip. Essentially, it's never quote unquote confirmed, but
Right.
highly implied, and and so
Anyways,
That's
sorry, I had to
that.
get that out of the way because that was really weird when I was reading that. And another point related to this is, you guys have read Phil Tucker's other stuff. I have not, and so I'm curious if this is a Phil Tucker comfort thing or what happened. This book is more mature in a lot of ways. There's a lot more like just like
themes?
straightforward adult theme sexual content. And then they also say fuck a lot in this. And I don't think they really said it in the other books as much. I don't care. I just thought it was interesting. And so what I wonder is, does he do that in his other series after a couple of books? Or is he just like, whatever, let's try it out?
I didn't even notice that.
Well, because you don't read words. Yeah, well, fine. But
I've only read one other series and 4 books in, and I don't remember that being the case.
Yeah, I was just curious. And again, I listen to them, right? So when they say fuck, I'm like, oh, that's, they don't say that a whole lot.
I think I've read
Anyways,
4 of his other series, and I don't particularly remember
yeah, but you don't read words,
that,
so.
but it's true. Yeah.
All right, so what else do we learn in that meeting? Because he's there talking to the queen with Bravern there. He's not with her alone, so he's not able to really have a longer conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But then, but very shortly afterwards, he meets other members of the Iron Tyrant's retinue, right? He meets, anyway, a bunch of different other people that are underneath the Iron Tyrant. And he also meets the Iron Tyrant's quote unquote spy.
Yes.
Whose name is Elaine.
He doesn't.
Elaine is spelled Alain.
But doesn't he meet him after their duel? Like, a couple more things happen because Elaine keeps trying to talk to Scorio and Naomi.
Yeah, it was cool how they did that.
The first time I read this book, when I didn't know Elaine and understand what was happening, I was so irritated. I was like, why are they being assholes to this guy and just ignoring him? Like, this is not Scorio's personality. I didn't have any idea what was going on, and I was just mad.
Yeah, I thought the way it was written that he was like an annoying little kid, and they were just like, we're busy, we don't have time for this person. The way it was written. And then you find out that Elaine's power is that he's essentially, I don't know if invisible is the word, but he's very hard to notice unless he makes himself obviously someone's attention, and unless the person like really, really focuses on them, right?
And he has to have like been around you multiple times. No matter how hard he tries the first time, it's not going to work. If you are low level, I think it doesn't work on high level people.
Yeah, the higher level you are, the more that he can notice you, and so that's why the Iron Tyrant is aware of Elaine. But even then, he doesn't always know that he's there. He sort of has to concentrate, right? But yeah, his power is to basically be unnoticeable. Right. Yeah. That's his power, is that he's not invisible, he's unnoticeable. Right. Which is a sort of a different thing. And so he's pestering Naomi and Scorio like multiple times in the chapters leading up to them actually meeting. And you see the dialogue in the book where someone is talking to them and they just completely ignore it and continue with their conversations because they can't notice him. And you're right, as a reader, it's very jarring because you're like, there are lines of dialogue here. I'm not reading these lines of dialogue that they're just completely just it almost looks like it was a mistake by the editor.
Exactly.
Right? It was like a random lines that were put into this book. Yeah. It
was cool. It was very cool.
It was well done.
It was really cool. I really like the voice actor as well for Elaine.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same guy, but like he gives him like a French accent.
Yeah, and he sounds like, I don't know, this is how I talk. It's like very like and it very much fits with his personality.
Yes.
And how weird he is.
Like French Borat almost.
Right. They make him like, I don't know, like very like you could totally hear him saying like not.
Right.
But yeah, before we meet Elaine, there's this duel thing, which I think is like not that important to the plot, but it's just like cool.
Oh yeah.
Such a flex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like something that's interesting in the Fury Spires, I can't remember if it's just the Fury. Yeah, I think it's just Bravern. Like everybody has a rank, right? Like I'm ranked 10th of the Flame Vaults or whatever.
Yes, that's right. And just in the Fury Spires. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like Naomi and Scorio show up and they're unranked. And so these like high ranked Flame Vaults, high ranked in quotes, are like trying to gain even more credit by battling Naomi and Scorio. And so they're like, all right, well, why don't we take all of you on? Because they know. And They crushed them in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, what was it? Was it 2 versus 3 or was it 2 versus 4?
I think
It was 2 versus 3.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it was 2 versus 3, and basically what happens is they start using their powers, and Scorio just walks through them. He walks through all the stuff. He doesn't rush them, doesn't do anything. He just walks, and he just takes whatever beating they throw at him, and it just bounces off him. And Naomi is sort of contemptuously like someone is like throwing up these like razor sharp threads, and she's just sort of cutting them one by one, almost very, very casually walking forward, doing a very similar thing to Scorio. And then they crush them, and it's about 5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
And they sort of prove to the Fury Spires that their reputations are deserved. And then you're right, that happens first.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately pretty inconsequential to the plot. It's just
cool. It's just like it's a flex.
How far. Yeah, you get to see how far our characters have come from the beginning of book 1, where they were vastly weaker than everyone else, and now on average they hit above their weight class.
But it does set up like the concept of duels, how they work in the Fury Spires, which is important later. That you're in this like caldera, I think is what they call it.
Yes, you're in this caldera, and anyone can challenge anyone. Yeah,
and if you if you go out of bounds, you lose, or if you get knocked out or killed or whatever, you obviously lose. And then there's like, it's not like a blood oath, but it's like, what is it? It's like a heart oath. And if you lose to your opponents, you can kind of like make them do whatever you want to an extent. I think that's it. I think that's the important stuff you get from the duel.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I feel like when Scorio meets Elaine, he's like visiting the queen again.
He uses Elaine to help him go visit.
Oh, is that what happens? Okay.
Yeah, so he senses Nox, and so he's going down to try and find a way to get to Nox, and he can't get past the Blazeborn Titans. That are underneath the Fury Spires. They don't let him pass, and so as he's trying to find Nox, Elaine is following them, talking to them, and they don't realize that he's talking to them until very basically like after they get denied and so forth. They're basically finally he gets them to see him, and they have a conversation, and Scorio asks him to basically Elaine tells them, hey, Robber and the Iron Tyrant told me to spy on you guys.
Yeah.
And I think he mentioned it earlier, actually, like in the last chapter or the chapter before. You see the dialogue where he says, hello, I was asked to spy on you guys.
Yeah.
Just completely ignore him. And then finally he says it again here, and they realize that they're able to see him, and he and it helps because I think they're in an empty corridor in the bottom of the fortress where there is no one else.
Yeah.
Right. And so that sort of helps his, it's hard to be unnoticeable when there is no one around. And so finally he's able to introduce himself to them, and you find out that he is desperately lonely.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one can see him and no one interacts with him. And even if they do interact with him, they'll forget him because he is so unnoticeable. And so he's so desperately lonely that anytime there's anyone interesting, he really wants to be their friend. He's desperate for a friend. And so they agree to meet with him again if he can introduce them to the Blazeborn Queen away from the Iron Tyrant.
Yeah. His character also too, just to like comment on the dialogue and stuff, he's like kind of pervy and like makes a lot of jokes about like, well, because of this power I see a lot of people naked, and like I see a lot of things I'm not supposed to see. And he's just, like you said, Red, in the audiobook, he's just, his voice and it's just very funny. He's a very like lighthearted. He brings a lot of brevity to the story that's like very serious, and like he's just funny. Yes. He's just like an enjoyable, funny character.
Yeah,
he's like a perverted.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a pervert. He's a pervert.
Yeah,
but also
funny. I agree with Red. He's a very lovable character.
Yeah,
and I think that Phil Tucker did a great job in this book with basically. You're right. This book is a lot more serious. There are some very serious themes.
Oh yeah,
a lot of like mental anguish, like some horrible stuff happens in this book.
Yeah,
but the counterpoint to that is this character Elaine, who's this sort of goofball. He's like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
Because and he can basically sort of do no wrong, even though he's like this mild pervert and whatever. He's so desperately lonely and so desperately wants a friend that you feel really bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like no one can see you. You're ignored by everyone.
Right.
Of course you want to meet people and talk with people, and you want them to introduce you to women because all that stuff. So,
right. And
yeah.
Scorio and Naomi initially are like annoyed by him, but then over time they start to kind of like get less annoyed and chuckle more and like him and enjoy his antics. So it's I like how they do that in this book.
Yeah,
so then Scorio meets with the queen, and she kind of like gives him the details of her whole why she's here, and like a lot of exposition about like her species.
Yeah.
Trying to think what's important. Is this where you find out where the queens, like when they make other queens, they're like clones?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a thing you find out, and then like I think what you already said, Sage, about like all the other colonies were wiped out. And did Bravern kill all of them except for her, or was it?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So Bravern essentially he basically he went to the Blazeborn queens used to have a lot of infighting. They used to fight amongst each other for supremacy, and so he basically tricked one of the Blazeborn queens and slaughtered the rest, and then enslaved the queen. And that's the situation that they're in. But I think one thing that I thought was really cool about this book is that, one, you get to see more of the politics of hell outside of the Great Souls, like I mentioned, the different tribes and the opposing tribes. But it also mentions some of the deeper things that are happening in hell. So in particular, it's referenced in previous books, the Blood Ox is a true fiend. Mm-hmm. He and his forces marched from the lustrous Mar, which is the sort of gold level of hell, and even deeper in hell, and are marching towards Bastion. And they have now reached the Tellurian Band, which is the I think it's the level just past the Bone Plains. And they, he and his forces are there. They have killed the Carnal Duchess, Jova Spike, taken over that fortress, slaughtered a ton of Great Souls, and pushing forward. And the Imperators, who are the only ones that can basically fight him on an equal level, have not done anything. Right?
Yeah, they're too busy.
Deeper in hell.
They have harder shit to deal with.
Yes, and so his forces are sort of marching down, and the only one opposing him is a Carnal Duke named Placis.
Yes,
who his forces are in the Tellurian Band as well, and he is fighting a sort of repetitively losing battle against the True Fiend. He has basically been personally defeated by the Blood Ox multiple times, and he is going insane.
Yeah, because the Blood Ox won't kill him either. He just keeps like mutilating him.
Yeah, breaking him. Yeah, breaking him and then walking away. Yeah.
And so at this point in time, I kind of remember the gist of what happens in the grand scheme of things, but there's a lot of people who are now like, trying to get Scorio on their side, kind of recruiting him. And Bravern also wants to fight against the Blood Ox. Like these factions, because there are some factions that are like, we need to do this, and other factions are like, no, this is stupid. And I'm trying to remember what each...
Yeah, Placis and a couple other blood barons are visiting the Fury Spires to try and convince Bravern to send more gold mana to fight the Blood Ox. And they're saying that they need it because they're losing. But the people opposed are saying Placis is going to lose no matter how much gold you give him because he's insane.
Right.
And so everyone's trying to get Scorio to like weigh in on whatever and then join forces with them because like it would be the whispered one joining whatever side and like making headway.
And so Bravern just wants like his loyalty. Is that essentially it? Because Bravern hasn't weighed in on what he's going to do in this scenario yet.
Yeah.
And we're waiting to see who Scorio chooses. And then the other stuff with the queen is the queen just helps Scorio find Nox and like essentially like lets him pass by the Guardians unharmed.
Yeah. Gives permission for him to go deep.
Right. And so they find
They meet with
Nox,
Nox.
and then
They meet
Naomi
with
gets the
Nox.
technique.
Nox agrees to create the Imperial Gel.
Yeah.
And while they're down there, she and Scorio are practicing on how to become dread blazes. And the traditional knowledge to be a dread blaze is to control your rate of I think it's to control how quickly you can burn your heart going, or something like that, right? It's something
like,
about
oscillate from like barely burning anything to burning as much as you can and smoothly back and forth.
Right. So you have fine control. It's like, you need to be able to not just floor it and just use a little. You need to be able to like finely tune how much mana you're using at any time.
Yes. But Scorio realizes that because of the delightful marinating technique, he can far better control how much mana he's burning from the atmosphere than he can from his heart. And so he basically tries, he's frustrated with the traditional Great Soul technique and decides to deplete his heart to nothing. He burns off basically his entire reservoir and then just starts only drawing on the ambient mana around him. And he starts drawing that up and down to basically mimic what it would be as if he had control inside his reservoir. And that triggers his dread blaze.
Yeah, and then he just does it. It's like he's practicing this technique forever, and it's like not working, it's hard. And then he does this, and it's like, oh, did it.
Yeah, that's right.
So then you see this trial.
Yes.
This is the last
and you see
trial.
Yeah, the last trial, which... Let me make sure I remember this. Actually, Sage, if you know it, you can tell it.
It's very dark.
It is.
Yeah.
Nikki!
So at this point, he's basically
Thank you for the resub.
verge of a final battle, so to speak.
We're doing well, Nikki.
It's his forces against the king's forces.
No, it's fine. It's no worries. I can always mute myself. Just talk to you.
Terrifying.
Thank you.
He's like feared. Like his basically no one wants to approach him and talk to him. They're too terrified of him, and it ends up being the court jester is the only one that is sort of brave enough to come talk to Scorio about the battle ahead. And one thing that I thought was really interesting.
Okay, Nikki, sounds good.
In this time period, they talk about how
hope we get to go home and relax
the
now.
Legendaries, they're called legendaries, have disappeared at this point. And so they mentioned Parsival the Green, they mentioned the Flayer of Men, but they also mentioned Kurgan, who you met in another one of the books. So somehow in this trial, you find out that like however the Great Souls were plucked away from history or from Eterra and brought to Hell, it was sort of happening in real time somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was an interesting tidbit. And then in particular, Scorio, he wants to fight against the King's Scepter, who
Mm-hmm.
is the only legendary left on the King's side, and he wants to, I guess he wants to kill her or whatever. Oh, and I thought what was sort of interesting was that he can, at this point, he can teleport. He's known as the Lord of the Black Tower or something like that, and so he can teleport a tower from place to place. It's implied that is his ability. That is one of his abilities in this flashback, which is sort of weird, because it doesn't have anything to do with his current abilities whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But he can teleport this black tower into the anywhere on the battlefield, and and I think they mentioned like you can have like 50 troops or something like that in this tower, and he can basically strategically deploy those troops and deploy the tower anywhere. And so and that's essentially where it is.
And so his choice, because there's always a choice in one of these trials, his choice is to kill the scepter or to...
It was to go after the king by himself and 50 troops, or do like a long drawn out siege maybe. It was like suicide mission by yourself.
Like assassination versus actual warfare.
Yeah.
And he chose assassination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple questions about this. Because Sage, you didn't listen to the audiobook.
No.
Red, you did.
Yeah.
It sounded like the voice of the scepter was Naomi. I guess you're not going to say anything.
There's no the voice of the scepter.
Yeah.
The King's Scepter.
Yeah. Don't you hear her later?
She's not
She
in
does-
this. No,
Yeah, she does show up because he kills her.
Yeah.
Yes, but not in this. Not in this flashback.
Oh, sorry. Well, whatever.
Not in
I
this
want to
flashback.
not forget
Yeah, in this
that
flashback.
she talks and sounds like Naomi. And I mean, if you guys, because you read the fourth book, because you guys are assholes and read the fourth book, you can't tell me. But I just thought it was very interesting because they have different female voices for different characters. Jova sounds very different from Naomi, but to
I
me,
honestly did not notice if the King.
Yeah, I only read it, so I didn't notice it either. But at this point in the book, the choice is the Jester asks him to please play the part of a general. They're outnumbered by the King's forces, and so play the part of a general, and we have the tactical advantage even though we're outnumbered, but only if we play this tactically. And Scorio's counterpoint to this is, well, no, if I slaughter the king and the King's scepter, they'll rout. The enemy forces will rout anyways, and then we'll be okay. And so that's what he decides to do.
Yeah, so Scorio's like, fuck that. I'm going to go on an assassin.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that, right?
Yeah.
Very much driven by anger and pain.
Yeah.
He decides, I'm going to kill them.
Yeah. Is it implied here, or sorry if I'm spoiling things for later? I mean, I know we'll get to it, so it's a little out of order, but still, it might be later that it's implied that like the scepter is his former like love interest.
Yes, I think that
Is that
it
here?
is.
Like that's part of why it's an issue. Is like it's not just some person. Like it's
That's
like
right.
someone he was in love with that he's decided, well, I need to kill her.
I think so. I think the Jester says something about it. And it's really interesting. The dynamic in his flashbacks has significantly changed from him being like a beloved rebel leader to like everyone is too terrified to even say anything to him. And the Jester is the only one who will talk to him. And even he is scared.
Yeah, he very much seems to be painted at this point as like a monster.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone, his own forces are petrified of him.
And I also don't remember, is he like permanently in his transformation form? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I made that up. All right. So that's a trial. And then, okay, sorry, I have one more question because again, it's a lot of, I can't remember if this is before or after. I remember that he like talks, doesn't someone specifically talk to him about if he wants to be a part of, if he wants to make the choice to go to hell?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
sorry. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. So then,
a lot happens in this book, and it is hard to keep track of what happens when.
Yeah, like I remember it happens, but I don't remember specifically when. That's why. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's Pyre Lord of Revelation.
Okay, so let's talk.
Yeah,
so Dreadblaze, and he comes out, and what's his new powers?
Yeah, his Dreadblaze power is really cool. So basically, it allows him to turn into a flame, a disembodied black flame form, right, which burns things, and then. In addition to that, he reverts back to his own form and sucks in the flame, and then can basically breathe it out as like
the nightmare.
Welcome,
thank you.
And so I think that is a badass power. It basically gives him like, I think like a more offensive power than before, where he had just the command aura, the shroud, and all that. I thought it was a cool power.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ray?
I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I found it really interesting that like he's supposed to have these crazy mana reserves. And he even talks about how that power drains him so quickly, which is, right, like if you think about had he not built his heart to the level that it is and like built his reserves so deep, how hard it would have been to use that power anyway, right? Because it's already like uses a ton of gas, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm just distracted by stream stuff.
No.
Someone just said something very nice. It said, hope everybody's having a great day. And if you haven't been told recently, you matter, you're awesome, you're winning life in your own way. And that's awesome and should be proud of yourself.
Oh, that was very nice, person.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, person. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, his powers are super cool. Yeah. His new Dreadblaze powers.
And actually, that's right. And so there are one or two other people who were also in his flashback that were named legendaries that he'd also heard of, as well as also being in hell. In particular, the Flayer of Men her name is Nissa, and so he knows her.
You don't have to apologize. I appreciate you interacting.
Yeah.
This is a hard thing to multitask. That's why I mute myself. But
yeah,
so many.
Thank you for the follow.
Then is what happens next? Is it Bravern making his decision not to share the gold?
So I think you find out Moira is there.
Yes.
At the Fury Spires, right? And so you you find out a little bit more about that's when you find out a little bit about the politics of hell, some of the things that are going on deeper in hell. The Imperators are occupied by something around the pit, which is the deepest layer of hell, and keeping in the true fiends there. There is the Viridian Heart, which is some threat in the
Joe Flynn, thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you.
Which is moving once again. And then the Blood Ox, right? And so the Blood Ox is what is everyone's mind is on. It's occupying basically the majority of the lower parts of hell. This is like the major strategic issue that they're facing. And Moira is there sort of helping coordinate a bit of the war effort, because Moira, if you remember from the previous book, she's a fire soul who can, anyone that she touches, she can telepathically communicate with across hell, no matter the distance. So, yeah.
And this is the point where I think it's Moira who kind of says, like, you need to make a choice. You have to.
She explains to him what's going on in the Tellurian band with the carnal Duke Placis,
right?
And how Placis has basically been broken by the Blood Ox. He's refusing to engage with the Blood Ox's forces anymore, even though he has the largest army in that part of hell.
Right.
And the Seamstress, who is a Crimson Countess deeper in hell, she sends 2 Blood Barons to Duke Placis to remind him, and with some reinforcements to basically say, hey, you need to actually like fight and do stuff.
But also, those Blood Barons were to pressure the Iron Tyrant to getting more gold.
Yes, to getting more gold mana towards the war effort, because apparently Bravern had been not giving as much gold mana to Placis as he should have been.
And so Moira kind of says, like, you need to weigh in. You know, if Placis isn't involved in the war effort, we're all going to die. And, like, it's not going to work. And the Blood Ox is going to win. And, like, we're doomed.
And sadly for Moira, her stoop-backed lover is not there.
No, he is not.
Stooped back. That is very true. I'm trying to remember. So Moira is on.
I just have to say, might be the proudest moment of my life when I found the quote in that book that justified.
Yeah, that was a good
that you were correct. Yeah,
yes.
I completely missed that.
That was a really good call.
You just focus on these details that we just, says Age doesn't read words and I don't pay attention. So you are absolutely the most observant, and we need that. We need you to bring up those key details about descriptions about stooped backed people who are in the story for one sentence. But when he comes back in the next book, we'll all remember who he is.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
I forgot. I was just scanning through. So 2 important details. 1, Placis and his forces have arrived at the Fury Spire, along with the Seamstress's Blood Barons and her reinforcements. The reason why the Blood Ox is able to push this far into hell. So he has a bunch of gold mana ranked fiends, and there was a gold mana quake, is what they call it, deeper in hell, that basically pushed gold mana into the higher parts of hell, and that enabled his fiends to push into hell, because remember, these fiends basically run off of that gold mana. But the quake has receded now, and so now these gold mana fiends are desperate for mana. They're starving essentially, and so they are pushing very rapidly.
Thank you so much for the sub, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Where and essentially the Fiery Shoals, where there is a new supply.
Hope you're doing fantastic as always, buddy.
Can get to.
Love you. Thank you for the
And
sub.
so Moira is there at the Fury Spires, and she's telling Scorio, "Here's the plan. You need to go meet Placis. Placis knows who you are. He might listen to you. You're to challenge one of his Dreadblazes because you're a Dreadblaze, and defeat him in combat, and then he will listen to you." And that's what Moira's plan is. And Scorio says, "Okay, I can try that."
Yeah. So what does Scorio do?
And yeah, Scorio
This
agrees to
might
sort of
be, like,
try that.
The peak stupid moment for Scorio. It was so.
I love it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I get it. But I think one of the things about Scorio is that he's smart, but he also has a temper. And so I wasn't surprised. I was like, yeah, Scorio is impulsive and does stupid things a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he goes to meet Placis, and Placis is basically just a drunk. And it's just like
a drunk mess.
All of this. Yeah, a drunk mess. He's the most powerful person in the lower levels of hell. Now
we want to try and do book clubs more and more. So
Scorio's meeting with him, talking.
I appreciate you saying it's a good idea.
Duke Placis is providing all these reasons why he can't engage with him, and or the Blood Ox, and then Red, if you want to take it over, then he goes crazy.
So Scorio basically says, "Well, you're a fucking coward, and I challenge you to a duel, even though I'm a Dreadblaze and you're a Charnel Duke."
Yeah. And I do think that Phil Tucker did a great job explaining, like, Scorio was so pissed. He got so angry at how pathetic Placis was acting and being, even though he's the ranking Great Soul. And so he was just so frustrated that he's like, "Fuck you, you're a coward." and then goes crazy.
And so this now is 3 levels higher than Scorio. Like previously he's been fighting things 1 to 2 levels higher. Placis is now 3 levels higher. And they even like give him a chance to try and walk it back, and he refuses.
Right.
Yes. And most importantly is that at Charnel Duke, you have the ability to claim dominion over mana in an area, which basically makes people at a lower level than you, or anyone contesting you, unable to draw in that mana. And so Placis can end anyone below him very easily in a duel. That's why you can maybe sort of fight 1 or 2 ranks above you, up until Charnel Duke, but normally at that point, no one can fight a Charnel Duke because Dominion comes into play, and it's very hard to fight against someone who can claim all the ambient mana.
Can you use mana that's in your heart?
No.
So you can't use any mana.
So yes, you can, if you are the same level as that person. It's they're claiming Dominion over all the ambient mana, right?
So it means all the mana in the air, or does that mean
in the air? But they can also claim it from your heart if they're stronger than you.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't think, for example, Soul versus Imogen.
Yeah.
Right. Soul claimed preeminence. Right. He claimed dominion over the mana, but he wasn't able to just immediately rip it out of Imogen and kill her, or restrain her.
Okay.
Right. He wasn't able to do that because they are both Imperators.
Right. So they're both the same level.
But Placis against Scorio, who is a Dreadblaze, can basically instantly rip out all the mana from his reservoir, everything, and there's nothing Scorio can do about it.
All right, so the levels between, so it's Dreadblaze, then it's Pyre Lord, then it's, what's before Charnel Duke? Blood Baron. Then it's Charnel Duke. And so Charnel Duke also has a Ferula?
Yeah, Ferula.
Yes.
Sorry,
At
Ferula.
Blood Baron, you get a Ferula, which is basically a tool. You don't know too much about it at this point, but it's a tool that allows you to concentrate mana into very powerful, pure blasts that can overcome defenses.
Was there anything else? So you have Dominion, you have the Ferula, and is there any, besides being way more powerful?
Yes. And then you also have all the powers that you got up until that point. So Placis's power in particular is that if anything attacks him, he can freeze that attack, including...
which is a ridiculous power.
So if you throw a punch at him, basically you'll just be frozen. But you stay in relation to him. So like if he's walking and I throw a punch at him and I'm 5 feet away, if he continues walking, I will just float behind him 5 feet away with my fist up.
Yeah.
That's how that essentially would work. Yeah.
So, which is a pretty sick power, even if you're not Eternal Duke. So yeah. So Scorio's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scorio's fucked.
And he's given an opportunity to kind of get out of it, and he's like, "Nah, I can't," because is it just pride? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, "No, I can't, pride."
And Naomi is so pissed at him that he's like done this that she disappears. She's like, I'm gonna fix it for you. And she vanishes before the duel. And he's like working with Leonci. Is Leonis like bitchy at this point? I think he is.
He's starting to
He's
be.
starting to be a little bitchy.
Yeah.
So they're kind of helping him prep. And like his only hope is that he gets Placis's attention. Like he doesn't expect to win the duel or anything, but he's like hoping that he has an impact on Placis, and that's all that he wants.
Well, and I think they kind of implied that he's like mentally frail, like he's like he's so damaged and like maybe insane or maybe like withered from all the combat that like maybe Scorio can distract him because he doesn't have the mental fortitude.
Yeah.
And they're like, but otherwise you're fucked.
Yeah. And it's interesting that like there's a gauntlet of people that talk to Scorio before his duel, right? So like everyone offers different ways out. The Iron Tyrant says, if you swear yourself to me, swear heart oaths to me, I will get the Charnel Duke to basically drop this duel. Scorio says no. Jova Spike turns up there. She was a part of Placis's forces and ended up at the Fury Spires. She says, I'll see you after you beat Placis, right? Which I thought was a cool thing. She is full confident that he's going to get out of this somehow.
Yeah.
Right. Naomi does her thing. Elaine comes and speaks to Scorio. I think this is one of the funniest bits in the book where Elaine keeps asking people how they would rate their friendship with him on a scale of 1 to 10. And so I think this is the second. This is either the first or the second time he brings it up where he's asking Scorio before the fight. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how close of friends would you rate us per se? And Scorio's like, well, you were at a 7, but then you were spying on me, so I dropped you down to a 4.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's fair. yeah. And so I thought that was really funny. And then I'm trying to think of who else. And of course, Zendara, the Blazeborn Queen, speaks to him.
Yes.
And says, and he had already previously spoken to her and said, I feel terrible about your situation. I will do
really
whatever
bad,
I can to try
really
and break you out of
terrible
this,
seal. Worse
if possible.
0 out of 10.
And at that point, she says to him, I have faith in you, and I will try and do what I can to help you in your duel with Placis.
Yep.
Which
is that all she says? She's that vague.
She gives him specific instructions, like look at my minion and do something. I forget what he's supposed to do to signal that he needs help.
Direct heat in its direction.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's going to place a drudge in the caldera during the duel, and she says, "When you're in need of help, direct heat in its direction, and I'll do what I can."
Hope you had a good meeting, buddy.
So duel time.
Oh, but another thing I wanted to bring up, just so I don't forget, is I don't know if we know this now or later, but Elaine has been touched by Moira.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thought about that. So she can speak telepathically.
Talk to him.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, continue. It's duel time. Time to duel like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Unsurprisingly, it's very one-sided, and Placis like toys with Scorio a little bit, right? He doesn't claim Dominion, even though he could, right? He could end it immediately, and he lets Scorio basically like throw himself at Placis and get nowhere. And then Naomi shows up, drops from the sky, tries to sneak attack Placis, but it doesn't work because his technique is stopping things that attack him. So then they're both just hovering there, like in his orb of protection, and Scorio's staring at the drudge, and he can't do anything. So he can't direct heat, but he's hoping that just by like staring at this thing that the queen gets the message, and she does. So like she calls up a bunch of mana, and it erupts into the room, kind of like a volcano. is how I
Yes.
picture it, a volcano of mana. And it
Yes.
distracts Placis enough that at the same time, or like,
So he basically so the caldera erupts with mana, and he freaks out thinking that it's the Blood Ox.
well, Scorio
Right, so
screams Blood Ox.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's right.
He screams Blood Ox, and Placis flinches and flips around, because he's terrified of the Blood Ox, and
Scorio tries to attack him, gets
Mm-hmm.
stopped again, but like managed basically to poke him in the chest.
Yes, that's right. And then, but Placis claims dominion, and
Yeah.
Scorio manages to basically stick a talon half an inch into his chest.
Yeah. And so then Placis ends the fight, but sees that he has been bloodied and spares Scorio and Naomi. And basically, go ahead.
Well, so I was gonna say specifically, Scorio says, Placis asks him, "How did you do that? How did you make the mana erupt?" And he says, "Zendara, the Blazeborn Queen." And Bravern says, "It's my pet. I'm going to take care of it."
Yeah.
And then Placis says, "How did you do this?" And Scorio said, "Basically, what you are to the Blood Ox, Zendara and me are to you and Bravern. And I would rather die now fighting than just sit here and accept slavery or mediocrity and defeat." Right. And that sort of ignites this passion in Placis, where he's like, wow, this guy is willing to die for this, even facing certain death against a Charnel Duke. And somehow he managed to scratch me, even though he shouldn't have been able to do anything. It sort of basically rekindles Placis's passion and sort of ignites him, calls him to action. And he agrees, okay, fine, I will march against the Blood Ox into the Tellurian band with my forces. However, while he's doing that, the Iron Tyrant immediately goes to Zendara's chambers and kills her.
Yeah.
And Scorio runs away from Placis to try and stop him.
Stop yes.
Bravern from killing Zendara, but he doesn't make it in time.
That's right. Right.
And then we're all sad.
Sad face. However, it realizes that basically Zendara managed to hide away. The way that Blazeborn Queens reproduce is they produce eggs, and she managed to hide away a single Blazeborn Queen egg in Scorio's chamber with a message basically saying, "I trust you. This is the future of the Blazeborn. We will die out unless this queen is born. Try, and if you give her the highest quality mana that you can, she will hatch, and she will be your ally. She will basically be a clone of me as your ally."
A lot happens in this book.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot happens.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the last two books, and I feel like they were all the same length, but there's so much more still happens in this book.
Yeah.
We are not at the point that we're talking. We're actually not halfway through the book.
That's crazy.
But I think that we can. No, we can.
But there's a point where it's just like they fight and they fight and they fight some fiends and they fight and they fight. Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that Placis respects Scorio a lot for his bravery and what he's doing. And Scorio actually ends up liking Placis. Placis is a very likable person. He reminds Placis, when Placis looks at Scorio, I think, "You remind me of me when I was, first starting my career, earlier in this incarnation of my life." And Placis thinks, I can see that, because Placis has that sort of daring genius that Scorio has, and they get along really well. And then so they agree to march down to the Tellurian band.
Whoa. People have sex at some point. When does that happen?
Yeah, that happens before they leave. I think
yeah.
It's after.
Let's not just skip over a very pivotal scene. Okay? Sexual tension for 3 books. Okay?
Yeah,
and you're just going to skip over it.
Won't they? Yeah, there's a will they or won't they with Scorio and Naomi.
And boy, do they.
Yeah.
Nothing? They have sex.
It's not the most descriptive sex scene.
No, it's not. It's not like Crown of Thorns or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
no.
None of the other. Yeah.
But they smooch, and then they fornicate, and then they're like, "What is this?" There's a lot of love and relationship stuff that is very not. Sage is like, okay, this is not the cool part of the book. I don't care about this, but it's important, and we have to talk about it. So there's a lot of like, oh, what does this mean? Was it just did we just have sex? Are we lovers? Are we friends? Are we whatever? And blah 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 blah. And long story short, I think he talks to Lianshi, and they're like, what do we do? And eventually, at some point, he like kind of implies that they're like a couple now.
And at the same time, Leonis and Lianshi have broken up.
Right. And Lianshi has gone back to dating. I don't remember her name, but Juniper, who in the first book or the second or whatever, you learn that they are in each other's trials because they were at a nunnery together or something or whatever. Anyways,
they were a couple. They were a couple back in the Terra as well.
Yeah. So they're together, and Leonis is all upset. Well, he's not really upset about that. Leonis is upset at the rate at which Scorio's progressing and leaving him behind, right?
He's jealous, but like he's not outright admitting that. He's saying that he's upset, like Scorio poisoned Lianshi against me, and he's taking all of the credit and hurting people in the process.
He's not doing great. He's coming very close to his villain arc, and it's very obvious.
He's very bitter.
Yeah, and he's like, I had all this. I think Lianshi explains that like they in this new life were like so they were given so much at the school, and he's kind of like, I've been given all this shit and I still can't compete with Scorio. How is this possible? Blah 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 blah. So he's in his feels and he's upset and whatever.
So
and at the same time, also important to note, while he's fucking her, maybe like right after or right before, Scorio's like, Naomi's still kind of a bad person. And like, he's not fully sold on her because she's really negative and she wants to run away, and
she
wants to leave all the great souls to their fate and say fuck them all and let's just abandon them all. Let's abandon the war effort. Who cares about them? And let's abandon Bastion. Right?
Yeah, and he keeps reflecting again and again on how Nox said, like, who is the real is Naomi, or is she the Nightmare Lady? And he keeps reflecting on like, what's the real Naomi? Is it the Nightmare Lady? Is it Naomi? Blah blah blah. Epic foreshadowing.
Yeah. Okay,
and also Elaine was watching them have sex or listening or something.
Was he?
I think he was listening.
In the hallway. He was listening in the hall.
Yeah.
He says, but I waited in the hallway, so it's okay. Yeah. He says that to them.
I think that's it.
My favorite part of this book.
Elaine's great.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I think that's it.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, before they go to the Blood Ox to deal with this.
Yeah. So you there's a cool part, I think, is like up until this point, Great Souls have been very individualistic. And so at this, when they basically marched with Classus's forces to
training montage. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. So it's sort of a training montage, but they also march in an army. And they mentioned that a full 25% of the active Great Souls in all of Hell are in the Tellurian band in this army to fight against the Blood Ox, right? Which is a huge number of the amount of Great Souls that are basically left in Hell, about 1,000 Great Souls. And so Scorio marches with his army unit, which is led by a Pyre Lord, and there are other Dread Blazes, as well as he has some Flame Bolts underneath him. And so he
when does he?
I think the most important thing is that you get to see how these different. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
When does he level up again?
Not until the end.
Is that when it is? It's at the end. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, all right, yeah. So he's a Dreadblaze, and they're training montage.
Their training montage. There's a cool scene where like there's just random little things in Hell, and so conveniently there's a part of Hell where if you feed it a high enough quality of mana, it basically will. It's sort of like a time bubble that will reverse the effects, any negative effects that happen, and reset you to what you were at when you first entered this time bubble. Under it's like 5 minutes or something.
It's the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, if you add, not quite, right? Because it reverses.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. So, it's more like
you have to feed it high quality mana, and so it basically enables the Dread Blazes to fight full force against each other.
I got another
And
Dragon Ball Z reference. It's
kill each
like when they're training against the Saiyans and they're all on Earth and they have this thing where Kami and Mr. Popo can have the Z fighters fight the Saiyans, but then like it's not real and they just like reappear. So they're like training against the Saiyans, but then they don't like actually take any damage. You don't have to stop paying attention when I do things like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Red, what are you eating?
Blackberries. I was listening to you, but I don't know Dragon Ball Z, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's okay. I appreciate you listening. Says Age has seen
I
Dragon
don't
Ball Z and
remember-
knows what I'm talking about. How do you not remember?
I
It's fine.
don't remember that level of detail. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Blackberries are really good.
Most importantly is that in his army unit, there are a couple of different people that become relevant later.
Vincent, or what's his name?
including- So Nyrix is one. He is a Dreadblaze. Along with Scorio, he can basically fire a bolt from his crossbow and then teleport to where that bolt is.
Mhm.
And there are 3 flame vaults that are underneath Scorio that basically Scorio is in charge of. And then also you find out that this sort of
You know what their names were to
legendary-
me? Flame Vault 1,
What?
Flame Vault 2, and Flame Vault 3. Because
Okay, that's one way to look at it.
it's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, so one thing is that also in his unit is this sort of shadowy, this legendary other great soul called the Shadow Petal. You don't know
She's
her
dope.
name, I don't think.
she's so dope.
And she is basically an assassin type great soul who has these awesome combat abilities.
So she's the
And,
one in book 2 who killed the teacher person, right?
Sorry, you say that again. You buzzed out for a second.
Oh, I did. Sorry. She's the one who
Yeah.
killed the teacher person in book 2 when
Yeah.
you know what I'm
the
talking
whip,
about?
The hell whip.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hell Whip.
Hell Whip, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, she's around and she has awesome powers.
Okay, so they march into hell.
They train.
And to train, and then they go down into the Tellurian band to try and fight the Blood Ox.
Okay, pause one
And
second
then,
before that because I know where you're getting at.
Okay.
The only other thing I was gonna say is they do focus a lot on like, wow, I was gonna say Kaladin. What a different book series. I don't know why that name popped in my head. But Scorio being a leader and being the commander of this little unit and blah 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 blah, and you got to lead and blah 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 blah, and he bonds with them and does all this teaching stuff and montage over, but he bonded a lot with the people in his unit and blah blah.
And cool thing is that you also get to see the Blood Ox basically united. There was a bunch of different warring tribes of fiends in the Tellurian band as well. And the Tellurian band is mentioned. It's huge, right? The Tellurian band is basically a world in and of itself.
Big
And, like,
band.
there's all these different cool locations that they mention is in the Tellurian band that you never are going to ever see, right? There's like the Desolate Tower, and there's a wall of emerald mana that surrounds the Desolate Tower that rings the length of the Tellurian band, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to encounter it. Anyway, the Blood Ox basically went to the Tellurian band, and before the Blood Ox came to the Tellurian band, Jova Spike, as a Carnal Duchess, had forged a ceasefire and a peace with all the different fiend tribes in the Tellurian band.
Right. So previous
What the Blood
lifetime,
Ox did-
not this time. Yeah.
Yes, when the Blood Ox killed her and took over Lastrock, he united all of those fiends under his banner to basically attack the Great Souls deeper in hell. And he uses them to supplement his forces of gold mana fiends who are starving at this point and weakened greatly as a result of the fact that they don't have the gold mana from the Quake anymore. Yeah. Anyway, they travel deep into hell and he fights.
How'd they get the gold
There's a lot of
mana?
fighting. There's a lot of fighting and a lot of different fighting and so forth, and it goes over and over. And the horror of hell.
They fight,
it's
everyone
also
dies,
terrible.
blah blah blah.
They're ambushed. Basically, everybody dies. It
Yeah.
feels very much like what's that like 90s bug planet war movie?
Starship Troopers.
That's
Yeah,
what
Great
it
movie.
reminded me.
God, you mean one of the greatest movies of all time? But
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like everybody's dying.
I did my
Placis
part.
Shows up,
Yeah.
saves like a small portion of the army, but most everybody died. They figure
Flame Vault
out,
1, Flame Vault 2, Flame Vault 3 all die, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And Scorio's like, no! Whatever. They
Kelowna-
basically die. One lives, whatever.
Yeah. One lives.
Whatever.
Kelowna lives.
So
Scorio's
they,
like,
like, get
no!
edge of the Bone Plains, and the Jova Spike and the other two Blood Barons show up because they went to Last Rock and it was empty. So then they're like, oh no, where's the Blood Ox? And then Placis claims dominion, and it like starts in a small area and then gets bigger and bigger and bigger as he like pushes his dominion outward. And he's doing that to try and find the signature of the Blood Ox. And so he does, and he sees that the Blood Ox is moving the direction that they just came from, basically, back towards the Fury Spires, and is clearly going for Bravern's gold mana. And so he gets out a bunch of like nifty pills and elixirs and like beetles or something, I think, and hands them out to all of the low-level people about like, this probably won't kill you. It's gonna fucking hurt, but like, take it. And be prepared to die because we're going to go fight the Blood Ox and a bunch of gold fiends. And our only goal is to delay him long enough for the Imperators to show up.
Mhm.
And the Imperators knew they were going to fight the Blood Ox and are supposed to be like waiting nearby to come after they lure the Blood Ox out of his interdimensional space pocket.
Mhm.
Which doesn't matter.
No, bring it up. What?
How is the space pocket moving? Are like the gold fiends like pulling it along with them as they move? How does it work? That's what I want to know.
Hell, fiend magic.
Yeah. So they go, and there's more fighting, and
well, that pocket dimension very much mirrors what Imperators have. They have a sanctum,
right?
And so it's
probably like what's her
Weirdly.
images?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I see what you're doing. Don't do that. I haven't read the fourth book yet. Don't do things like that.
No. That's not a fourth book. That's not a fourth book thing.
I thought you were doing a thing that was like, huh, interesting.
No, you notice in this book that the powers of an Imperator and the powers of a True Fiend are nearly identical.
Are they fallen Imperators? Is that what you're getting at?
That's my
We don't know.
But that's your theory.
Yeah,
is that their
that's a theory,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I that's a good theory.
Yeah. So they realize that sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
They realize that the Blood Ox is behind them, and they've been just fighting the various fiends of the Tellurian band, but none of his gold mana fiends are there. And so the small remnant that is left, they go and they try and chase down the Blood Ox's forces, and they succeed. They run down, find the Blood Ox's forces, and they start to attack and fight them.
And then
Placis is there along with the Blood Barons of
the Seamstress.
Yes, the Seamstress's Blood Barons. And then as they're there fighting, all of a sudden you see a crimson sort of speck that was that is the opening of the Blood Ox's sanctum. And he arrives.
And they're like, "Ruh-roh."
Yeah, and basically like all of hell, like instantly you can tell that this is a true fiend, right? And it's sort of interesting. What I found interesting was that Scorio was like, he was expecting like a giant fiend or a creature of horror or something like that. But in reality, the Blood Fiend basically looks like a person who has long dark hair, and he's wearing the sort of ragged remnants of a beautiful robe. But he said that he has this feeling of such incredible power coming from the Blood Ox, more so than even Imogen and Sol had as the Imperators. And sort of like the light around the Blood Ox is distorted, and mana sort of is like curving around him, even though he's not necessarily claiming dominion. And then basically you fight him. He sort of instantly claims dominion, and the Placis freaks out and tries to fight him, and sort of fires his ferula at him, and the Blood Ox just sort of makes them wave away. And then Charath, who is one of the Blood Barons of the Seamstress, charges him, and I think from what I understand, the Blood Ox just basically grabs him, holds him there. He's like a giant tiger cat thing, and just drains him. His blood like drains out of his eyes, ears, and nostrils and mouth, and then
Pretty sick power.
is sucked into the blood ox. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then and so then the blood ox is like basically killing them all.
Mm-hmm.
And
except
then
Placis and Scorio.
yes, except Placis and Scorio.
Mm-hmm.
And so
then what happens?
He specifically says to Scorio, hey, he singles out Scorio, drifts up to him and says, there you are. You're the one who broke his toy.
Yeah.
I was asked to do something specifically nasty to you. And Scorio's like, what? What are you talking about? And this is after everyone else is dead, basically. The blood ox has killed everyone else.
Like once again mutilated and broken.
Yeah, except for Placis, who was once again mutilated, but including Naomi, who is like also being killed. Jova, everyone is dead.
Everybody's dead
around him. And so the blood ox says, oh, I was asked to do something nasty. And he pulls out a drop of Numenon, which is the rarest and most powerful form of mana. It's only found in the pit.
It's the bestest mana there is.
And he decides he's just basically going to burn Scorio out and inserts him with it. But what I do think is interesting is he said that I'm reading the dialogue. It says, do you know what this is? It is Numenon, the most precious mana in existence, and that which now drowns your pit in farcical amounts. I just find it interesting that they say it's your pit. This is the blood ox, who is a true fiend.
Yeah.
Technically supposed to be from the pit.
Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah. So he's talking. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until just now. As I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. He says your pit. And so I don't know if he's just being just because they call it the pit, or
right, or it's implying interesting,
or it's implying something else. I'm not sure.
And why much of it?
Yeah, exactly. And why is there so much of this now in the pit? Right? It implies that it wasn't always that way.
Yeah,
which I think is like really, really interesting. And so, and he does that, and nearby it's basically him left and Placis.
We did forget to mention he broke Placis's heart, not like figuratively, but like literally his mana burning heart erupted.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he ruptured their heart. And so it's just him and Placis that are left.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's injected with the Numenon, and sorry, go ahead.
I was to say, you might wonder, why did Scorio not die when this is supposed to be like an extra special way to die? And because obviously the blood ox and whoever sent him doesn't know that Scorio has this egg that's supposed to be bathed in the strongest mana that you can find. And so like the Numenon knocks Scorio out. So like the blood ox thinks he died, which is very careless to not pay attention. But it basically goes into the egg instead of into Scorio. Yeah. And saves his life.
Yes.
And then he's just like, bye.
Yeah. And then the blood ox continues to follow his gold fiends north.
Yes, north.
What do you think he meant?
Towards the Fury Spires.
What do you think he meant by you destroyed his toy? What do you think that means?
So when Scorio wakes up, he's next to Placis, who's like, "Oh shit, you're alive too." And Placis, and so he's sort of like, Placis is kind of joking with him, and Scorio is like devastated because everyone that he knows, including Naomi, is dead. And Placis is like, "Relax, it's okay. The Imperators will revive them. It won't be a big deal." And Scass is like, "What?" And Scorio is like, "What are you talking about?" And Placis is like, "Well, the Imperators are nearby, and they're coming, chasing after the blood ox. So they'll just, when they pass by, they'll just revive everyone who died right here." And so, and he knows that they're nearby, and they've been chasing the blood ox, and so they quickly, they basically revived everyone, and everyone's going to be okay. And then Placis, he basically has this one-on-one talk with Placis, tells him about the Blazeborn egg, and Placis is like, "Oh shit," and just sort of acts as like a sounding board for him. And
I think he's like, the Imperators
And
probably
they're
don't
like-
like that. You should probably run away.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. He basically said, "Hey, yeah, you should get out of here. Like, don't. The Imperators will sense that, and so run away. You know, you don't want to be here." And then Scorio asks him about the Herdsman and if he's heard of that or the Lost Cube. And Plas is like, "Oh, maybe. I think it's something about the Silver Unfathom, which is the next layer of Hell down." And yeah, and then so he quickly
Square's like, tell Naomi when she comes back to life that I love her.
Does Placis say at this point, like, I'm not going to let them save me, I'm ready to die? Does he tell Scorio that? I think he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah. He says, "Oh yes, that's right." He says, "I was serious about ending my life, and it is. Let me give you some advice." And so he actually mentions a bunch of cool stuff deeper in Hell. So he says, "If Endergrast invites you to join his Golden Star, refuse. You don't know what that is. Ask nothing of the Cerulean Oracle, no matter how important you think the answer is." And then he says, "Imperator Serana is a monster, worse than the Fallen, and she will lift you up only so she can bring you down." And then he finally says, "There's a portal near the end of the Titan's Causeway. Step through it with my belt buckle in hand, and it will take you to a grotto where I've stashed some treasures that may be of use to you."
Treasures!
Yes.
Where's that grotto? Do we know where that is? Or I'm sorry, where's the portal?
It says at the end of the Titan's Causeway.
Do we know what that is?
You don't, at this point in time, you don't know where that is.
So I don't know what that is, but you know where that is.
You don't know where that is. I know where that is.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
And then so he decides to run away. And an important thing to note is that that you find out later is that the two Imperators that are coming to revive everyone and kill the Blood Ox, one of them is Imperator Serana.
Okay, that was my next question. Okay.
And I didn't put that together until just now when you read his omens and then who's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
I gotta pee. Filibuster, don't talk about anything important. I'll be right back. 30 seconds. I'll be right
I'm
back.
gonna use the bathroom too.
Yeah. Okay. This is Age.
Nice.
Entertain everyone. All right. You're right here. Just talk about whatever you want. You got it. You got it, buddy. Do it.
Just go pee quickly. You could put on the word thing that you do. No, Butter's. That's okay. Has anyone else actually read this book or heard of this author in his chat by any chance? Curious. If not, you should. It's a really, really good book. That's actually a really good point, Nikki. Yeah, if you put that on, we probably wouldn't finish it because I love Words on Stream. It's awesome. Hey, Red.
Hi.
And Butter. Nice.
Good timing.
So, yeah. No, I was talking. I pulled up your Twitch chat.
Okay, good. Silence is the death of streams.
Nice. There you
can't
go.
Just be silent.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's an awesome, awesome book series. You guys should read it. But yeah, so then Zendara basically hatches.
Yeah.
He runs away. Zendara, the Blazeborn Queen, hatches as a child, and sort of they bounce ideas back and forth, and they realize that Bravern, the Iron Tyrant, has basically has strangled the gold mana from the Great Soul Forces and offered it to the True Fiend. And that's why the Blood Ox has been moving south into the Iron Weld, because he wants that gold mana at the Fury Spires that was promised to him so that his gold ranked fiends can survive.
Yeah, why'd he do that? What a jerk.
Thus the root of the phrase, like, you broke his toy. That's how Scorio figures it out. One thing about Zendara being born, I don't know if I just like made an incorrect assumption, but when they basically said that like she is a clone of me, she will know what I know, I assumed that reborn Xandera would know Scorio, and
Yeah.
she does not.
She did not. I think
No.
maybe what was meant was because I think later she like reads the walls and like
Yeah.
remembers the history. Maybe that's what she meant. Maybe she meant like eventually.
Yeah. She's a clone, but she's not like a.
There's no genetic memory.
Yeah, there's no genetic memory. There we go. Yeah, that's right.
What was that book we read where oh man, that book series was so cool. I'm trying to remember now. But it was like, remember there were these like spiders, and the spiders had like the memories imprinted in the spider, and then he had to go back. It was something where it was like a time loop every 3 days, something about like magic or magicians or something.
Oh yeah. Sazage, that was the guy who lives like the same.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
That book was fucking awesome. What happened to that?
I know.
Did we just not go back to it?
No, we finished.
The series?
Yeah.
I don't think I finished the series.
No. Red and I finished it. You didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Is it
Mother
good?
of Learning. There we go.
Is it good?
Of Learning. Oh, it's so good. I love that. I love that book
The
series.
female characters are still problematic, but they get better.
Yeah. How many books is it?
Yeah.
4?
I think it's 3 or 4 books.
All right, add that back to the list of eventually things that I need to finish because I think we read. I think I read 2, maybe 1. I don't remember. Anyways, let's talk about this book. Xandera doesn't have her memories, and she's like, "Hi, who are you?"
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
Then he's like, "Exposition."
Yeah. And then Naomi and Elaine come to find Scorio and Xandera. And
how does that happen? I don't remember.
Xandera is they basically move in the direction of where Scorio had run off to. Blastus had told them where to go. And then Xandera senses them close by and intercepts them. And then the 2 imperators were Azaran of House Chimera and Serana of Kraken. And so Blastus had basically was waiting around to tell them what would have happened and what's happening with the Blood Ox. So to basically help them go fight the Blood Ox.
Mm-hmm.
But then he intended on committing suicide, right? He didn't want them to repair his heart. He just wanted to kill himself and start over. And but Serana was one of the imperators, and Serana agreed, okay, I will kill you. And Blastus was trying to insist that the other imperator did it, but Serana said, no, I'm going to kill you. And she flies away with Blastus and returns by herself.
And he's alive and screaming as she flies away.
He's alive. He's alive and basically begging everyone around him to do something, including the other imperator. He's begging the other imperator, I want you to kill me. Just kill me right now. And Serana says, no, I got it. Grabs him and flies off.
Another reason I'm glad we have book club. Totally missed that. I think what probably happened is I was practicing golf and like I either wasn't paying attention or it was like I accidentally skipped to the next chapter or something. Totally missed that entire thing. So thank you. Wow, so she's bad, huh? Or is it a guy or a girl?
It's a girl.
She bad, huh?
Serana, yeah.
What do you think she did?
We don't know.
Yeah, but what do you think she did?
No idea. Either tortured and killed him or like took him somewhere. I mean, I think that the fact that she flew off with him and then returned without him and that he's like killed off screen, I feel like she didn't kill him.
Yeah.
She captured him or something like that. Kept him alive.
That was also my thought that like he has been kidnapped for some nefarious purpose.
Yeah. Even though he wants to die. And so or he was like tortured or he was tortured and killed, but I think that more likely that he was taken and kidnapped and
maybe she ate him
against his wishes.
She could have.
Yeah. She could have eaten him. Who knows?
Like sapped his power and was
like the Blood Ox did with that tiger guy.
That's right. And so and the reason
maybe she took some of his will. Basically. Yeah. You know, like that other book.
So the imperators can basically the reason why they're not just going and killing the Blood Ox is the Blood Ox can hide in his sanctum, and it takes 4 imperators to crack open a sanctum and drag the Blood Ox out, and only 2 of them came. and the two of them alone can't crack open his sanctum and kill him. It's too difficult, or it takes too long. And so they're basically everyone is trying to draw the Blood Ox out of his sanctum while the Imperators are nearby, so that they can run and kill him before he can go back into his sanctum.
But
And that's why they're not just like, and that's why, and he can sense when they're around from within his sanctum. And so even if they were around, even if they find out where his sanctum is anchored or where his gold mana fiends are, they can't go near them because he won't come out. And so they're playing this waiting game. But the Great Souls comment about how it's a problem because the Imperators, whatever they're doing in the pit, they can't stop doing it. They have to get back to the pit as quickly as possible. Whatever's happening deeper in hell matters a lot more to them. And so they agreed to do this to help their forces here. But if they can't lure the Blood Ox out in a certain amount of time, they're just going to leave and just fuck everything in lower hell.
Yeah.
We'll just give it to the Blood Ox.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say, I just want to clarify, when you say lower hell, that means less dangerous hell?
Yes, less danger. The bottom 5 levels of hell, including Bastion.
But like, topographically, that's like upper hell, right?
Yeah. I think
yes.
Because like you're going deeper into hell.
Yes. That's right.
Is that a thing you're saying, or is that how they say it in the book too?
No, I think they say the upper layers.
Okay, I'm just trying to get it straight in my head. Like, deeper is deeper. More bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so then now we got Scoria, Naomi, and Elaine, and Queen Zendara. Right? That's what we're doing. We're marching.
Yeah.
And they go through lava or something.
Zendara can control magma and lava, and so she basically wraps them in magma and hardened magma, transports them through the magma that runs through the veins of Archeswa, is what she calls it. And they are quickly transported back to the Fury Spires before any of the other allied forces get there. And when they get back, they're aware that the Iron Tyrant Bravern is a traitor, and
Bad
so they agree to attack him. And so Zendara basically summons her Blazeborn army and starts to attack, and basically the Iron Tyrants, the people that serve the Iron Tyrant, his Pyre Lords and Dreadblazes, they're in the chamber with him because Scorio tried to basically go with Naomi, Elaine, and Zendara and assassinate him, and kill him as quickly as possible. And so but he and his forces or at least some of his lieutenants are there, and they're unable to kill him as quickly as they want. And they fight. And
then
as they're fighting, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It triggers Scorio's Pyre Lord revelation, which is the unification of all of his powers and what do they mean about him as a person. And apparently they meant, I am a dragon.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly what it meant. What triggered it? Just him being in battle? Or I don't remember.
Being in battle, and Zendara had spewed a bunch of lava, and he was having this weird kink for lava.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I love lava. I remember the lava. I love it. I love lava. And then he's like,
yes. And then it's oh yeah, that's because I'm supposed to breathe fire because I'm a dragon.
Because I'm a dragon.
So
Zage is not here for the jokes. He doesn't think this is funny.
Bravern is essentially fighting against Scorio one-on-one.
Lava.
Is occupied. And Zendara is throwing lava everywhere.
And he's like, oh boy.
Scorio manages to survive a direct hit from Bravern's Ferula, which basically negates reality, so to speak. And so he survives the hit by asserting himself. And then
he loves lava.
In this heat, he's burning. He's engulfed by the lava.
Yeah, I bet he is. He's super engulfed by it.
Scorio. And
he's drowning in that lava.
Yeah, he realizes that he
loves lava.
Instead of resisting,
you can say he loves lava.
Embrace the fire, the lava, the pain, and it feels like home. And
I love lava.
He's not a creature of he's not a creature of magma, but he's a creature of heat and fire. And he's this bringer of ash and darkness, a monster out of legend. And he is, in fact,
a dragon boy.
My dog triggers his. I gotta go get her, but keep going.
Your dog, okay.
That triggers his Pirate Lord flashback, and in the flashback, he's basically a dragon flying over the countryside. He's wounded, but he's essentially like
he's a fucking dragon. He's a dragon.
Yeah, he's a fucking dragon. He's just been like, yeah, he had killed. He'd fought and found his way across the army, and he basically fought his way in the grand battle. He fought his way to the king's scepter. It's like a flashback within a flashback. So at the point in time of his Pirate Lord Revelation flashback, he's flying over the countryside. It's a land of the dead, right? There's mass graves everywhere. Animals and armies flee at his approach because he won, basically, the grand battle.
Scorio the Dragonator.
Yeah, so the grand battle happened 3 weeks ago, and they nearly lost. He cut his way through the honor guard and reached the king's scepter and the king, and he was unable to kill her at first, and so she was going to cut him down, and basically he refused to be killed, and she is this weird thing. He calls her she calls him my beloved, my dragon, and he realizes that he is a dragon. He refuses to die. He's a monster, and then his powers essentially erupt, and he transforms into a dragon right there and then and there on the field.
Oh, my sexy dragon!
Yeah, he kills her, and he kills the king.
Weird. It was weird.
Yeah, dragon kink.
Yeah,
for sure.
He kills her. He kills her, and he kills the king, and basically, over the last 3 weeks, he's basically regrets what he's become. Right, he's become this absolute monster. He flies to the king's palace, and he doesn't know what he's doing there because he doesn't care about anything.
He's a dragon.
Because he killed the love of his life. No, he turns back into a human. Oh. And then at this point in time, he is approached by. This is the first time you realize he is approached by this old man.
Yeah.
Right. Who basically says that tales of your deeds have outlasted the centuries, and that I see you're this. You're when he's talking to him, he is a dragon. So he's like, wow,
you're a dragon.
This is incredible. And he says, I've traveled back 472 years into the past to invite you to save this world. All of Eterra is under attack by the demons that pour forth from hell to destroy the innocent. Come with me. There's nothing left for you here. And so he asks her, he asks him. He says, he's like, if you had asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said yes, but I died here on this battlefield. I have nothing to fight for. And then Scorio realizes that he is the one who's been pulling all of these legendaries, including Kurgan, Parzival, a bunch of others. And he asks, did you pull the king's scepter? And he says, no, I wasn't able to. It's either you or her that I could pull back into the past or pull into the future to fight this battle. And I chose you.
Yeah, dude, she's Naomi.
And so, but he was not able. No, he says.
No, I know, but I'm telling you, she's Naomi, and that's why she isn't a great soul classically.
And he says he is the Archmage. He calls himself the Archmage, and the Archmage basically says you have a chance to redeem yourself. You can go kill these demons, and he finally agrees to go with the Archmage to become a great soul, tie himself to the Archfire, and fight in hell. And then he returns to the present, where he is a Pirate Lord, and boom.
Sorry, time out. Okay, also the Archmage sounds like Praximar in the audiobooks. Just want to point that out too, because I was thinking is this Praximar thing? And then you don't feel the Naomi theory on that at all? You don't think? Because to me, there were a ton of allusions to similar things happening and being in love, and then things happen. And
when I was reading or listening to this section, I was like, oh, that's totally going to be Naomi. But then he comes out of it and he never talks about it was Naomi, right? And everybody else he recognized.
Right, but maybe she was wearing a helmet or something.
That's right. No. He knows. He knows
talks about what she looks like. Yeah, that she was dark hair.
It's not Naomi. Like he comes back and it's like it's not Naomi.
You want to put some money on
Like, he
that?
would recognize her.
Wait, is it revealed
I
in
don't
book
know
4
money.
who that person is?
What?
Is it revealed in book 4 who that person is?
Who the
Yes.
King's Scepter is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort
Okay,
of.
so you know it's not Naomi. Okay, well that's fucking bullshit. Like, I'm glad I didn't make that
Well,
bet.
I was trying
Just-
not to answer
Fine,
you.
it's
but
not everyone. Because we can't have nice things because my friends read books before they're published. We know that the King's Scepter is not Naomi because Sage and Red have both read book 4.
Anyway, the point is that he is basically reborn a Pyre Lord. Bravern is like, oh shit,
He's a dragon.
you're Pyre Lord, what the hell? And then him and Zendara kill him.
Really, that's it?
And then the other
Sage is too tired for my
people
bullshit
that
today.
The people that served him, that served Bravern the Iron Tyrant, they're like still bound to him by heart oaths, and so they're still like fighting against Scorio, so to speak, and so he has to like imprison them.
And
Yeah.
then it's
Hold on though.
what?
But then he doesn't imprison them. He lets them out.
Yeah, he has
Yes.
like a mini conference about like what can you tell me, and they agree to his new terms. But they're like, we can't tell you about the heart oath, but like
Because our heart oath the part of the oath was you can't talk about Fight Club. Part of the oath
Yeah.
is you can't talk about the oath.
we'll agree to your new terms that you want us to fight under.
And
And
Scorio was like, okay, you guys can be free and fight and just be around.
And he asks them where the gold is, and they won't tell him because of the heart oath.
Yep.
But then
Oh, and Naomi encourages him to kill them all. She says, slaughter them all.
She
Kill them,
does.
Kill them.
She does indeed.
Yeah, she
Um,
does. Yeah.
Yeah, and Scorio was like, no, if there's anything I learned from my previous trials, it's that I shouldn't be a monster, and let's not be, I know I'm a dragon, but don't be a dragon.
yes.
Yes. But okay, but then they still have the ticking clock that basically the Blood Ox and his forces are approaching the Fury Spires, and no matter where the Gold Man is, it's somewhere around, and they can't let him get to it. And so they're creating this defense. They're mustering the troops. He agrees to work with Bravern's Pyre Lords and Dread Blazes to create a defense. And Zendara quickly creates like lesser powered clones of her in order to help fight against the Blood Ox's forces.
So now there's like 6 queens or whatever, something like that.
And
7,
they're-
12, right?
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold tempered.
Yeah, gold tempered. That's right. They do find the mana, and she uses a lot of that mana to create gold tempered clones of her. Weaker, but still very powerful because they're Blazeborn queens. And they fight in defense against the Blood Ox's forces, and eventually, what happens?
Well, a lot of things happen.
Do you want to wrap up the summary, Butter?
The Blood Ox. Doesn't the Blood Ox come and then they kill the Blood Ox?
So basically they kill using like it's 20 Blazeborn queens. So using the magma and all that, they basically slaughter all of the gold rank fiends in the Blood Ox's army. And the
Yeah, and then the Blood Ox
finally
comes.
appears, and he's like, Bravern's dead, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's so upset because he genuinely cared about the Blood Ox. He genuinely cared about those fiends.
Mm-hmm.
He says that they were so much more deserving than you, and then he, I think a cool line that he says is, Scorio asks, what is it that you want? And he says, your complete and utter destruction, and then to tear open your portal to Eterra and pass through me and mine like a wave of destruction long delayed, and wrap my fingers around the Archmagus' neck and throttle that bastard until my fingers close to fists and his head sails free, trailing blood. So it's really more about he wants to kill the Archmagus specifically,
which is the person who brought everyone here in the first place.
Scorio and the Great Souls to the Hell, right? And so Scorio tries to ask him why you hate the Archmagus and Archmagus, and or however you pronounce it, and the Blood Ox just is like starts attacking them and killing them, and he calls Zandera a traitor for basically fighting against other fiends with Great Souls.
I, at this point, had to say, like, I was slightly underwhelmed with Zandera Prime because somebody at some point says, like, a Numenon queen is going to, like, rule all of hell. And so I'm like, all right, she's going to be fighting near
She's like a day old, right?
So?
I think
like,
it takes some time to, like, no?
I mean, the Blood Ox, I kind of agree, right? They talk about like, oh, a Numenon queen can take over all of hell, but the Blood Ox fucking crushes her, right?
Yeah.
Like
and she
immediately
hasn't she
sweeps
evolved
aside.
into her adult form already?
Yes,
too?
she is. She is adult Zandera at this point, and so the Blood Ox is basically fighting Zandera. He's about to kill her, and then all of a sudden he pauses and he looks to the west, and then immediately, drops her and flies off as quickly as he can. And then a few seconds later, you see two trails of mana immediately follow him, which you assume are the two Imperators. And you find out later that it worked. They drew out the Blood Ox, and the two Imperators ran him down and killed him.
Yeah.
Although it happens off screen.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
But while that's happening, and in the aftermath of this sort of happening, half the Iron Vanguard is dead, those who had fought. And during that fight, basically,
hey Nate,
the
hope
Iron
you're doing
Tyrant
well.
or Brauverns,
Thanks for saying hi.
Lords, half of them turned against Scorio because they were bound by these
We're just finishing up
book
club
to the Iron Tyrant, and they didn't realize it. And someone higher ranked than Blood Baron basically has to come and remove those oaths, of which there are now like multiple higher ranked people that are coming to this area because of the Blood Ox. And Naomi decides not to wait and starts slaughtering the basically helpless and imprisoned members of the Iron Vanguard who were bound by hard oaths, instead of waiting for someone higher to remove their hard oaths.
And then the saddest part of all of the
so
books.
Fucking sad. This is the part when I texted you guys and I was like, dark book. I just read this part and I was like, oh man. And before we say what happens, they did a good job, and I'm a big sap for emotional love and like these relationships working and like all these things happening and whatever. And it was like Naomi the whole time is like, this isn't going to work. Like, this can't happen. And Scorio was like, no, everything will be fine and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing that could ever make. And it's like you see foreshadowing that something is going to happen to ruin this. But I didn't think it would be this.
Yeah.
And so what happens is Naomi is going crazy and saying, we've got to take these people out. And Elaine essentially tries to stop her and kind of gets in the way as she's like mid attack and gets killed.
Yes. So she's using her tail to cut people's heads off. And Elaine basically steps next to her and puts his hand on her shoulder and is like, hey, stop, don't do that. And she cuts his head off. She
that's
just
right.
reacts.
That's right. She cuts her head off. Yeah. So it's like she's in the middle of this like bloodthirst, seeing red, murder, which in her mind is like doing the right thing. It's like protecting Scorio, and like we can't trust these people, these hard oaths, and then accidentally kills this innocent person who is also their friend. And it's very final, and there's no coming back from it, and it's very sad.
And then she sort of splits and kind of goes insane, where she shrinks down into Naomi, and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You believe me, right? It was an accident. And then she immediately turns back into the Nightmare Lady, and is like, I wouldn't have had to do that if you had trusted me to begin with.
Yep.
And then surges back down, and so she's sort of having this internal fight. And
Yeah,
It was-
is
basically
Naomi?
runs off.
Sorry.
I very much didn't expect it to happen, right? Like we all saw the Naomi plot line coming. I don't think anybody saw Elaine just like insta death
Right.
coming.
Yeah.
It wasn't battle, it wasn't anything.
Right.
And then I
Yeah.
fully expected him to be resurrected by the Imperators because they had set that up in the first battle with the Blood Ox. And even Scorio kind of asks, and someone else is like, the Imperators are not going to come.
Thank you for the
here
set.
and bring people back. So like, no.
Yeah. Basically saying they have to get back to the pit. They don't give a shit about anyone here, and so they killed the Blood Ox and left instead of coming back to the battlefield. Yeah.
And so then Naomi has her like mental breakdown, and Scorio's like trying to calm her down, but also like in shock and you did something awful. And because he's not like insta supporting her, she runs off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's very sad. And Elaine's gone. I think they did a really good job of introducing Elaine and making me sad about Elaine dying. Because I think a lot of times a weakness in some of these books is it's like, okay, I've known this guy for 5 seconds. Like, for example, when Scorio's flame vaults die, it's like, okay, he bonded with them for a second. I don't give a shit about them, whatever. Elaine, I was like, no, this is sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Naomi doing it when it just seemed like she's such an interesting character because it's like, I root for
they
her.
had gotten together.
You know,
exactly.
and you want
She's
her
a
to
very
succeed.
flawed
You want her to
character.
win, but she just keeps fucking up because of like everything she's gone through. And it's like, how much sympathy and empathy do you have for a character who keeps doing terrible things? And, you know, to me, this is like unforgivable. Like, I don't see a scenario where Scorio is going to be like, well, we can move past this.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Before she even killed Elaine, like I was really upset that she killed Valdir because I also felt like he was a likable character. Not as much as Elaine, but like that's the guy with the horse copies of himself.
Yeah.
And right, like not that they were innocent because they agreed to those hard oaths, but they were acting under compulsion. It wasn't of their own free will that they turned against.
Yeah, they were essentially kind of like brainwashed. Like it wasn't like they were really carrying out these actions.
And she was like straight up murdering them. So for me, it was like, well, that was probably the end of things anyway. And then killing Elaine is like there's no going back from
Yeah. And so at the very end of the book, now that's all over. Naomi's run off. He ends up back in Last Rock to research what he's looking for about the herdsman.
I know you're getting to the important part of the book, but also like there's a lot of moping. Like Scorio's like, fucking not doing good. Upset. Like he's not devastated. Yeah.
He feels burnt out. He's burnt out, right? Because he made Pyre Lord, did all these great things, but now Naomi, who he basically admitted his feelings for and everything like that, killed someone and then ran off. And she's considered a criminal by the other Great Souls, right? Because she slaughtered Great Souls that could have been saved, essentially.
Yeah. And the reason I bring that up is just because Scorio has fucking gone through the gauntlet 1,700 times, and he's always like, he hasn't really up to this point, in my opinion, had a mopey stage. And like, after everything he's gone through, this is the thing that really breaks him. And I think that just adds to how incredibly sad this is.
Yeah. And so he ends up in Last Rock looking for the clue to the herdsman, that mysterious group. And he also brings Bravern, the Iron Tyrant's like notes and records and sort of diary or whatever to see, because there's a great soul who one of his powers is basically to decipher things, or he has the ability to decipher puzzles really well.
Oh yeah,
his name is Prantor.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
And so
in the Last Rock, I thought we're still in the Last Rock book.
Yeah, we're still in Last Rock.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so Prantor, so they go there, and then you actually start learning things about you learn things about basically the the organization of the herdsmen. So the herdsmen are like these secretive group that moves things in the background in hell in the Great Souls, and they go by code names, and it's like chess ranks. They're like castles and bishops and knights up until the queen and the king. And
Bravern had a rank.
And so Bravern was considered a red knight.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there are castles, a red queen, and above her there is a red king. And then so they think that there's at least one or more imperators in the herdsmen.
Right.
And then so he talks about specifically that there's basically a code or something that hints that there is a second archspire in hell, and that the herdsmen control it. And it basically is this revelatory thing, because it's like, oh my gosh, there's another archspire in what's called the Fortress of Symmetry, and it it's earth shaking, because all souls are supposed to be reborn in Bastion, and they, in previous books they've established that many of the great souls that were there earlier in the fights in hell, they haven't been reborn for whatever reason, and less great souls are reborn every single year, and they don't know why, even though they die in combat, they're supposed to immediately come back. And so it's hinted that maybe they are being reborn in the second archspire instead of the first one, and it's being controlled by the herdsmen. And so Krantar, who's the guy who can decipher things, he says, okay, I'll know more in the morning. I need to do more research. And then he's murdered.
Yeah, and then he's murdered
in Last Rock. Yeah, he's murdered in Last Rock, specifically by the Shadow Petal, who you find that her name is Himiko, and Scorio sort of tries to chase her down, and he's furious because he realizes that she was in fact a member of the herdsmen all along, or at least their agent, and killed Krantar, and then burned all of the books, so that no one else could decipher it either. And he's fucking furious.
And that's the end, right? That's it.
So that he knows that basically that this mystery is somewhere in the Silver and Fathom. It's mentioned that in the Silver and Fathom is where the Fortress of Symmetry is, also called the Lost Cube. And the herdsmen are called the Shepherds of Goodwill.
Sorry.
And they have some famous...
The Fortress is also called the Lost Cube. They're the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
The Fortress of Symmetry and the Lost Cube are basically the same thing. They call it the Lost Cube at the end.
And that's where the second archspire is.
That's where they think
it is. Okay.
There might be the archspire. And so there's another thing where they open a book, and this is part of the book that they came here to read, and it talks about the Shepherds of Goodwill, also known as the herdsmen. And members, they were active during the 3rd and 4th century. So this is like, multiple centuries ago in the past. Famous suspected members were Charnel Duke Thraxon the Slender, Blood Baron Ambrose Firemouth, and Imperator Serana. And Imperator Serana is the one that Placis warned him against, and who also took Placis away. And so she was a suspected member of the herdsmen. And remember, when you're an Imperator, you remember all of your past lives. So, even if she had been killed and then come back, as she's an Imperator right now, she will remember all of it. So.
So now reflecting back on the thing with Placis, because he was taken away off screen, we don't see that he's killed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Theoretically, she could be resurrecting him at the second archspire or something or whatever. Yeah.
That's right.
And remind me again, in the previous books, Praximar was a herdsman?
No, he...
I don't know. No. I don't think he was.
Okay.
In that note in his office, he says something about, like, I believe that I was affiliated with the herdsmen or something like that.
But he wasn't necessarily in this past life.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because it's more of like kind of like a continuity thing. I remember Praximar having there was like a Praximar chapter where it was like his perspective, and he's saying like, man, all of these heroes, like, why haven't they come back? They would help us so much. And it wouldn't make sense if he's a herdsman. Why would he be asking that? But if he's not a herdsman, then is that foreshadowing?
and actually, it's one of the reasons why Scorio wants to go to Last Rock, because in Praximar's diary, he talks about how he went to Last Rock to ask Jova Spike if he could get access to their records to research some of this, and she said no.
Right.
And so, and so that is one of the that's one of the reasons why Scorio wants to go to Last Rock, is
Right.
because he is trying to do research, because Praximar's journal hints that
Right.
there is something at Last Rock that has information about the herdsman.
Right. And so now all that stuff that he went to Last Rock for is burned and gone.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that
right.
sucks.
Except
That's
for,
unfortunate.
except for one, this one little thing about the Shepherds of Goodwill.
Yeah.
And then, and then so basically the book ends, and then in the epilogue, you get Naomi's perspective, and she's out in hell alone, tormenting herself basically. And as she is sort of like racked with guilt and talking to herself and arguing with the Nightmare Lady, our good friend Knox finds her
Good friend
says-
Naomi.
and says that he would help her,
Yeah.
and that she is his clutchmate, and he'll help her and bring her home. And
Yeah.
then the book ends.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool book. Very good book.
Very cool, man. You're right. A lot happens in
Yeah.
that book, and I forgot like some of these little details.
We didn't like a lot of times we just like when we're talking about these books, we just waste time and bullshit and whatever. Like
Mhm.
a lot of like everything that you said is like very important.
Yeah.
So, the other thing I wanted to ask is, I mean, you kind of clarified it that the second Archspire is in the, what's the name of the next book again? The Lost Cube.
The Lost Cube. Yeah.
I just wanted
Or
to
the Fortress of
clarify
Symmetry.
that it sounds like the answer is obvious, but you know how they had that old academy? That old academy did that old academy have an Archspire?
It did.
Right?
Yep.
But obviously we're not talking about that. We're talking about a different second Archspire.
Correct.
But I wonder if could that Archspire and that old academy theoretically be used for the same thing?
Possibly.
Like it's
Yeah.
not actively rebirthing people, but we don't know why or if it could be turned back on.
Yeah, I wonder if they could turn it back on or something. And I'm just trying to remember when Imogen went over there, she was trying to open a portal. She wasn't trying to use the spire or anything.
No, she was draining mana from the spire, but I don't think she broke it or anything. She was just like using it as a conduit.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's,
All right.
Yeah, draining mana from the Spire and the Sunwire. Yeah.
And just to remember the spire basically is the thing that like whenever someone dies, all of that energy goes into the spire. And then
Yes.
the spire is used to
Rebirths
resurrect
them.
people. But like, does it do anything
Rebirths
else?
The Great Soul specifically. They are tied to the Archspire.
Uh-huh.
It's the source of their reincarnation and immortality. And so, yeah, it basically pools that power, identifies who is being born,
Mhm.
right? So the Archspire itself has that knowledge, and then pulls the remaining power from that, and then there's always a little bit of power left over, which they dole out to whoever is the most deserving.
Yeah, so that's my question is like, first off, is the Archspire acting, to the best of our knowledge, acting independently, or is it like someone saying like, hey, Archspire, do this thing?
Independently.
Okay,
Well, I guess it was set up that way by the Archmagus.
Yeah, that's the point, is that it's like objective and independent and doing its own thing.
Correct.
So does that like
Yeah.
give extra power to like the Imperators, or
No.
what does
No.
it do with the
It's
extra
implied
power?
that there's a little bit. There's a little power left over at the end, which one keeps it going, and two, they can partition it off. That's what Praximar was doing, right? Is that he was giving the people that make it the furthest in the trial, they get a little extra power from the Archspire.
Oh, so that's what it's for.
as a
Okay.
reward. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a minuscule amount. So,
Yeah, it's not like it's not a huge amount. So it's not like they're using the Archspire for anything other than, we think the second Archspire is used probably for resurrecting people for whatever reason they want.
Yeah, well, but you have no idea.
Right.
And again, this is it's a theory
Yeah.
based on this obscure passage that there is a second Archspire, and
Yeah.
that it is located in this thing called the Fortress of Symmetry, which
Yeah.
they assume is the same thing as the legendary Lost Cube
Yeah.
that Scorio has also read about and heard legends of.
Okay.
which is located in the Silver Unfathomable.
Very cool book. So I need to read this next book and catch up, and then we'll be on the same page, and then you won't be able to read another damn book until the 5th one comes out.
Well,
That's right.
both you and Tenurb, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so here's
Tenurb.
this was awesome. This was really good, and this was really helpful for me too because I missed a lot of details. So we all give this book 12 thumbs up, and we all love it. And
so good.
the next book, book
So
4,
good.
came out yesterday. You said, even though you guys have read it
Today.
today.
Actually, today.
So I'm gonna buy it
Yeah.
after this. The question is, since you guys already read it, let me see how far. I mean, we can just say it. We usually do like, we pick books, but this time what we did is we just said we're gonna read The Will of the Many, which you guys have already read. Let's see how far I am. It says I have 13 hours left. I'm on chapter 22 of The Will of the Many.
Okay.
So should I finish The Will of the Many first? Which podcast do you want to? What do you want to do for next episode? Will of the Many or book 4?
I feel like for continuity, we should do book 4 because we're like,
Yeah, I agree.
momentum
Yeah.
talking about the great souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the book 2 of The Will of the Many doesn't come out until November 13th, I think. So,
Okay. So I'm gonna look and
Yeah.
see if or when they're making an audiobook for book 4. But I will probably just read it, and then I imagine I'll probably finish both of them around the same time. But Will of the Many is a fucking cool book. I like it a lot. It's really cool. Yeah. And I'm not even that far. So for next episode, we can plan on doing book 4. I'll tell Tenurb. I don't know if he knows that it came out today too. And then Will of the Many also. But you guys said, so Sage, you said the 4th book. Hold on, sorry. So since you guys have both read the 4th book, can you rank the books in order of what you like them? Like, what are your favorites?
3, 4, 2, 1 for me.
3, 4, 2, 1. Sage.
Oh, I think I would say 4, 3, 1, 2.
4, 3, 1, 2. And Red, you were 4, 3, 2. Wait, you were 4. No, you were 3, 4, 2, 1.
4, 2, 1.
Okay, so interesting. I'm trying to guess, as someone who hasn't read the book yet, why those differences would be like that. And my guess is that book 4 is going to be very heavy lore and very heavy world building explanation, or at least like explaining some grander concepts that we really had either know nothing about or is exploring some new thing, because Sage likes stuff like that a lot. And Red tends to like things like that, but also likes, character development and like action. So that's my guess. Knowing nothing, that is my guess. I like both, but I will say I really like mysteries being explained and questions being explained and lore stuff. So either way, I'm very excited. Same length as the other ones, or is it longer?
I feel like it was shorter than Last Rock.
It's actually longer than Last Rock.
Is it?
Really?
That's just how fast you read it.
I'm looking at the page counts right now on Amazon Kindle, and it is slightly longer than Last Rock. Last Rock came in at 848 pages, and the Lost Cube comes in at 902 pages.
Wow. So this is a perfect example of how, again, I'm not the fastest reader. Like, you guys are faster than me. But also, if the book's good, I read it fucking faster. Because I cannot believe that Last Rock was 900 pages. Like, that is crazy to me.
Yeah, so I'll say these are Kindle pages.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that might not translate to it. Depends on how far. I think it depends on how far you're zoomed in, but
yeah. So real world, that's actually probably like 400 pages, I think.
I am going to reread it
Okay.
for the purpose of the podcast, because I read it piecemeal as the chapters came out, and so like the stuff at the beginning in particular is vague in my memory. I'm curious, Butter, not having read the 4th, how would you rank the first 3?
Yeah.
Probably 3, 2, 1. 3 was really, really, really good. They just keep building. Each one is building more, and I really like 2. The only thing I didn't like about 1, which I said, is and this is always the issue. When you have a character who sucks and then takes time to get better, I'm always so bored when they suck. Like Scorio, like running around in the caves trying to open a door. It's like, I don't give a shit. Make him awesome. Make him the strongest and the best and have the best powers. 2 I really enjoyed because I fucking hated Praximar and I was so happy for him to die. But 3 is just so much stuff happened. Like, it really was.
3 is fucking epic as shit.
It was like 2 books in one. And I think moving past Bastion, like the place, made it a lot more interesting too. Because even in the second book, we went back to Bastion. This is the first book where we're not in Bastion at all. And Bastion, because there are some people there who are civilians without powers, there were some interactions with those people which I find to be more boring. Like, I want everyone to have powers. I want them all to be awesome. I want them all to fight each other. So yeah, book 3 is fucking awesome. And just the lore stuff, and especially going over with you guys the little details I missed, shows me how good of an author he is to put in these little details. And I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna read book 4 as soon as I can, and I'm really excited for it.
Nice.
We can look for a date offline when you guys want to do it. I'm in San Diego this weekend. Then I'm like back home for a week, and then we're in LA for Red and I. Sorry, Sage. Sorry you're missing out. But Red and I are going to be going to LA to meet Mr. White.
And we got to talk about our Sunday plans, Butter, because certain people changed their flights to hang out
to be in Sunday. So the only thing we're doing is Sunday night we're going to Halloween Horror Nights, but otherwise Sunday day we're free, and obviously Saturday night. So but yeah, I'll text you. Sage, sorry you're gonna miss out. FOMO.
I know, I'm sad. I think I have a spare ticket.
Yeah, but I think it goes to me. I think if you have it and know how to have access to it, then yeah, give it to me, because I thought they were gonna mail them all to me, but
no. I also bought into that same package.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. So I always was gonna have my own ticket no matter what, and so no, because I did that before.
Mm-hmm.
I did that
before the gift I gave you for the event you can't attend.
Before the gift that you gave.
Yeah,
I had already previously.
My entire fucking life with Sage.
The second it was announced,
can't give him a gift. Can't give him a gift, because if you give him the gift, he'll already have bought it and then won't use it.
Yeah. So, but I was gonna say I can give you.
Yeah, you should give us. You should give it to me. Mail it to me or whatever. Because then
I don't know how do you get it? Do you know how you get it?
I think they mail it to us.
I saw a thing that it's going to be like, give your name at the door.
Oh, really?
Have your tickets.
Well, I need to check. I'm pretty sure I bought a ticket for Keeks too, but I need to check because I was planning to like physically give her a ticket if I hadn't, but we'll see.
Well, but you have 3, right? Like 1 for each of us. Can't you just, when you go pick up your 3, give 1 to me and 1 to Keeks?
Yeah, but you said it was going to be check the name.
Yeah, but just your name, not all of our names.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then yeah.
Buttercar bought 3 tickets, and they're like, okay, here's your 3 tickets.
Yeah. Then that should be fine. And then your friend also has a ticket, right, Red?
Yeah. Her own ticket.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you get a ticket, then mail it to us, I guess, or whatever.
As soon as I have any details or anything like that, I can pass you mine, and you can do whatever you like with it. And do me a favor, give Mr. White my regards.
We will.
Sorry that I can't.
We will. Yeah.
I can't attend.
Well,
we will not.
Yeah, we won't actually. Yeah, we'll say.
I mean, Red, you can. I feel like you can just text the family anytime.
Yeah, so, exactly. Just text Mr. White and just I told Keeks, I said, you got to read the book, otherwise I'm going to be very embarrassed. And she was like, classic Keeks. She was like, listen, I don't need to read anything. Look at me. Have you seen me? And I'm just like, no, but seriously, read the book, please. It'll be embarrassing. And she's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's 2 books. The
Oh, it's the first 2? I thought it was just the
Yeah.
first one.
no, it's the first
Good,
2.
because the first book,
Sucks.
Mr.
Not sucks.
Mr. White, if you're
It does
listening,
not suck.
it's great.
You guys are so harsh on
The first
I
book
love the
is
first
my
book.
least favorite of the
Series.
series.
Yes. In comparison to the series as a whole, the first book is rough.
But we'll plan next
I'm
meeting.
I'm a Mr. White loyalist.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
you
You're
know.
such a loyalist. You won't go to the
Absolutely love
fucking
it.
film in LA that you have
Yeah.
2
Have you
tickets
guys-
for.
Have you guys read both other series?
No.
I've read the Traveler's Gate one. I have not
Yeah.
read the other one. Per your
Elder Empire.
recommendation, actually, you told me not to read it.
What?
Yes,
No
Elder
way.
Empire. You said
Wow.
it wasn't.
I think. Oh no, I think Elder Empire. I love.
Wait,
that's
doesn't he do the
surprising.
one that's
I'm surprised
called the
I think that
something with knives
I like
or
Elder Empire. I like Elder Empire. Like, I really like it a lot. I actually think the world building in Elder Empire is like awesome, like absolutely epic. I absolutely love the world building. I wish that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I really like the world building in that particular set of stories. So.
Well, I, for one, am very excited to go with Red and Keeks to the showing of Will White's Cradle animated series, and I'm very excited to Sage can't come because he's decided not to. And what's the podcast? This is the Reading Books with Friends, the podcast.
Yay! we're
I'm
back.
Bunner.
Yay!
I'm
I'm
Red.
Sage.
All right, good stuff. This was fun.
Nice.
Love you guys. We'll
This is a lot of
plan
fun.
next one,
Yeah.
and next episode will be book 4. What's it called? The Lost Cube.
Yeah.
The Lost Cube.
Book 4, Lost Cube.
That's right.
Phil Tucker. Bye.
Bye.